buddy. Guys, it's been over a week. Holy heck. I don't even know if I remember how to stream. Oh my god, did it? Oh, the music went away on this too. Hold on. 1 second. There you go. Oh my god. So I forgot that I took my headset with me while I was gone, and I had it unplugged, and it reset on OBS and my computer. So I need to go to the sound settings on my computer too. 1 second. Oh yeah, it already is on there. What the hell? You dumb computer. Dumb computer. Alright. Anyways, Alex, you heckin' beat Leslie by default. Are you proud of yourself? Anyways, hello Alex, Koji, thank you for the lurk, and Ava, and Leslie, and Hi Shifter, and Demo's here, and Punchy. Oh my god. Demo, okay, for those of you who don't actually know, met up with Demo on Wednesday. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Long time coming. We finally did it. And I know, most of you should know who Demo is, but Demo is literally my very first viewer on Twitch. That's how we met. He just randomly popped into my chat on like my first or second day of actually streaming, and yeah. He stayed. He's still here. So yeah, we finally got to meet up. Yeah, lots of fun. It was a very fun week. Fun day, fun week. It was great. Punchy, how you doing? I saw that you came back too, right? Oh my gosh. How you been? How you been? It's great to be back. Like, thank you for shouting out Demo. Demo also streams, so go check them out too. Which, if you guys want to see some pictures, I posted some on my Instagram. I'm probably gonna be posting some more tomorrow as well. But yeah, heck, I don't even know what I was gonna say. I don't even know how to stream anymore, guys. What is this? Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna go back through the chat and see what all I missed. Yeah, I definitely forgot to change back my audio settings after I unplugged my headset. Oh, I need to create a poll. I need to create a poll. Alright. What do we play today? Hellblade? Or community games? I'm gonna say probably if we do community games, either Gartic Phone or Scribble. Okay. Almost there. And we're gonna put it on for 10 minutes. So yeah, do you want to see me play some more Hellblade? Or do you want to play games with me and catch up together and do either either Guarding Phone or Scribble, where we will be in voice? This time we will be in voice. I don't know. I can't do drawing games without being in voice because I feel like if you don't join voice for those, it takes away so much of it. It's so much more fun. I will literally take your account again if you try to fill the jar. I will take your heckin' account. God damn it. You guys wanna play it? Oh, you guys wanna play Guarding Phone? We could do that if y'all end up voting that. We'll end up doing that. You got a new capture card? An Elgato? Bruh. That is so awesome! I want an internal capture card. I think An internal capture card and an internal USB hub are gonna be my next 2 steps, I think. I think I have enough slots for it. Potentially. I might not. I might not have enough slots for both, but I definitely want an internal capture card. Oh man. That's probably one of my next steps, I think. But yeah. Yeah. What? Can we do the new game mode with the animation? Wait, hold on. I didn't read your other thing. There's a new animation game mode on Gartic Phone where you can make small animations, like flip note animations? Wait, really? Wait. Really? Oh my gosh. So like say you're trying to make like a little stick dude walk, you would draw like the first frame of it and then like it would flip to the next page and like you would draw like the next frame of like his leg moving. Is that what you mean? Cause that's hella dope. What the heck? How do you even do that? Like how do you think ahead enough for that? I feel like I would epically fail. Drago, hype! Oh my gosh. Hi Drago, how you been? How's everyone been? How's your week? What have y'all been doing? What have I missed? How your streams been? How's life been? What have y'all been doing? Talk to me. Tell me what you've been doing. Punchy got a heckin' new Elgato card? Wait, your best friend has an internal? Really? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. How do they like it? Do they like it lots? What was your local Punchy here, chat? Can y'all vote garlic? It's your garlic phone. You're doing good, college brain box go burr. Oh god, I can only imagine. I don't know. I don't remember if I asked this before. I probably have, but like P-brain. What are you going to college for? If you don't mind me asking. Let's say your prompt is like someone rolling down a hill, and then someone draws the first page, and then someone does the next. Oh, oh, that's how it works. So it's not just you doing it; it's everyone. Like you draw one frame, and the next person draws the second frame, and so on. Jesus. No, Punchy, it's okay. We actually, like, as a joke, call it garlic phone a lot. It's a garlic phone. So far, we got 1 vote Hellblade and 2 votes Gartic/Scribble. Thank you for shouting out Drago. I appreciate it. Garlic bread. Yo, if we're doing shoutouts, can you also shout out Punchy and Alex and Lussie? You were in on the joke and you didn't even know it. Oh man. At least you weren't the butt of the joke. Oh man. Bruh, why is that fool in my chat right now? Hold on. Hold on. How do I copy this? I can't copy this. Why won't it let me copy it? What is that? 0031? Get this fucker out of my chat, dude. Hold on. Get that fucker out of here. Fucking bots, dude. I cannot with these bots. There's something else. Thank you for shouting out Leslie. Thank you. Yeah, dude, the stupid like Haas bot is back. Oh man, I hate it so much. You forgot to shout out Punchy though. Punchy playing Fortnite? Oh my god. Omega! What the heck? Omega! Oh my god, thank you for subbing 8 months! What the fuck? Oh my god, that's 8 whole months! Yo, thank you guys for the host, holy heck. Omega, we're gonna have a Twitch baby next month. Hey! Budgie, thank you for the host too. Jesus. Potion, Lessie, Punchy, all with the host? Heck. Oh my god, how you been? How you been over there? Drago with the host? Holy heck. Holy heck. Oh man. But yeah, Potion, Alex, if either of you see like those dumbass bots in my chat, please feel free to just auto ban. So like the one that's currently in there, yeah, I got them, so don't worry. But if you see any more, feel free. Guess what? What? I have no idea. I'm really bad at guessing games. What's up, Punchy? Your Prime membership is gone because you tried to fix your card. Oh, because you had to fix your card situation with Amazon? Wait, so it just automatically went away? Or you don't have enough money to, like, renew it? Oh! Abo, thank you for the raid! How was your stream? How was your stream? How'd it go?
I hope you enjoy your stay. We have lots of laughs and fun here, and no, you don't have to pay.
Oh my gosh, Alex, thank you for connecting the tiny cacti bot. I didn't know you could do that with your own account or with your own bot. I need to do that. I don't know if that matters or anything, but I want to do that. But yeah, I definitely didn't know that you could like put your bot in my chat. I thought I had to like make my own little account. You'll show us how to set up? Okay, no problem. Yes, definitely feel free to test, especially if that dumbass is in my chat right now, you know? And something might happen. Oh, he's not. I don't think he's in there anymore, actually. Hey, he gone. He gonzo. He gonzo beans. You've been great? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I'm so glad that you've been doing great. Glad to hear that. I just came back from like over a week-long break. Hanging out with friends. So many friends. It was a lot of fun. Amazing week. Amazing week. Toast train. Oh gosh. Why I gotta make the noise like that? Can't incognito host honey ducky. Wait. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. The honey ducky heck. The honey ducky heck. Let's see. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. I might need you at the end of the month, Lessie. So, okay, guys. I think I finally have days for my 1-year subathon. So on Twitter, I had a poll asking if you all want me to do my first subathon for when I hit 1,000 followers, or when fuck, my brain just borked. Oh, or when my 1 year happens, and the 1 year option won. So, my 1 year is on September 26th, which just happens to be a Monday if I remember correctly. No, it's a Sunday. So, the 27th and the 28th, I believe, are going to be when I do the 1 year subathon. Because I'm most likely going to be working on the 26th, potentially. So, just to be safe, I'm going to put it on the 27th and 28th. And I'm not going to cap it, but I'm also not going to sleep on stream, so sorry if you're expecting that. I will pause stream to go sleep. Yes. I'm not sleepy on stream. Sorry. But I will pause like the timer and everything, go sleep, and then come right back to stream. Probably after like 24 hours, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see how long it lasts. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have a lot of things planned. But I think I'm gonna put in like Discord, a subathon like specific channel. That way, if you guys have any suggestions or something you want to see, like for goals or for like games that we play, I'll probably make a specific channel for that. That way, you guys can put that in there. I wanna get a huge ass game of golf with friends together. So if you have it and you want to play, let me know. If you don't have it and you want to play, also let me know. It's like the best fucking game ever with friends, and I heckin' love it. I heckin' love it. Oh my god, wait. Okay, so I'm really far behind on chat. Punchy, your birthday is next week? What day? What day is your birthday next week? Oh my god. But yeah. Mods, I'm gonna talk to you about your subathon at some point. I will definitely want at least somebody here at all times. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. You'll have to mod it for the stream, otherwise it won't be able to time out. Oh, yeah, I can do that. I could do that. Let me scroll back up. Copy / mod. There you go. Should have worked. If that didn't work, let me know. Amazon is trying to pull money out of the wrong area in your bank. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Myung. Wait, what was directed towards you? I'm so far behind. Holy shit. You still use emotes even though you don't have them? Oh, I love that though. I love that. But your 1 year is the 17th? What? No way. It's literally like 9 days off. That's crazy. No way, no way. And wait, Punchy's is the 10th. Whoa. What the heck? And your birthday is on the 8th. Wait, Punchy, holy heck. So your birthday and your 1 year are so close. Are you gonna do anything special for it? Are you gonna do anything special for it for like a birthday 1 year stream? Just talking about you're gonna beat me screen. Bruh. Bruh. People are gonna start believing you, oh my god. Wait, you guys wanna see something? Wait, I completely forgot. You wanna see something? I may or may not have gotten something in the mail, and I posted it on Twitter. But, so if you wanna see a picture of it, post it on Twitter. But if you wanna see right now... Look what I got in the mail! It's like the perfect size to just clip on, like, your pant loop or your bag. And, like, it's thin enough. Thin? It's narrow enough to like just fit in the bottle pocket, you know? It's super duper cute. If you don't know the meme, you'll find out eventually, most likely. But Skooma just like randomly made this graphic for me in one stream, and here it is. It's so cute. So this is on the merch store now, if you want it. Oh man. I'm glad that you like it, Punchy. You're throwing a party and then you're gaming? What? Oh my gosh. Punchy, oh my god, yeah! The new Valorant map does launch on your birthday. Bruh. That's heckin' nice. You could play Valorant new map on your birthday. That's heckin' nice. You want to include all your friends so you're planning? Oh my gosh, Punchy. I just wanna like shower you with all the freaking love. Heck. Oh man, that's gonna be so cool. Oh man, so many people are gonna be doing the like event stuff with the new Valorant map. Also, Josh, hello. How you doing, Josh? How ya doing? Yeah, you know what, Punchy? I'll take you up on that deal. You know, just go ahead and take him. Go ahead and take him. You're so excited you could cry. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you back, Punchy. Ah. Don't mind him. He is crazy. There's no basement. I mean. Wait, Alex is... Hold on. I need to start putting this shit in my calendar. Hold on. 1 second. Alright. 8th, Punchy's birthday. Punchy. birthday. Wait. Repeat every year. Alex, when's your birthday? Alex, when's your birthday? I must know. Also, I got Macca's today. October 16th? Yo, one of my best friend's birthday is October 13th. Alright, Alex. Birthday. Repeat every year. Alright, I got anybody else want their birthday in my phone? Anybody else want their birthday in my phone? I'm pretty sure I have Leslie's. Maybe. Maybe I don't. No, I do! I do have Leslie's. I do have Leslie's on here. Even though it's super close to mine, I would probably forget it. I don't know, maybe I wouldn't. I did remember it this time. Not just because it's in my phone. Alright. It's the day before your mom's and your brother's is the 11th? What the heck? So many October babies. Jesus. Am I gonna play the PBE tonight and play the map? I might at some point, but I want to start out with regular Val. I want to start out with regular Val and then maybe move over to PBE. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, Lassie, I was just saying that I wanted to check and make sure I had your birthday in here too, because I was adding everyone's birthdays to my phone. And I found it. It's in there already. Your ex was on October 3rd, same year, and your name had one different letter! Oh my gosh. I still think it's awesome that you and Guilford have the exact same name. I like it. I like it. It's actually not. It's okay. It was just fooling. Wait, what? What? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Wait, what's actually not? Oh, you're I know your birthday's not September 3rd. Fuck you. God damn it. God damn it. Ready up, we're not in a game. I can't ready up. You might organize something on Twitch for your birthday. Yes! backkkk birthday? backkkk birthday stream? Birthday party stream? Oh my god, that'd be amazing. You do have something planned for Halloween? Stuff is arriving in the mail? Ooh woo? Ooh woo? I wanna see. Wait, Alex, are you gonna wear the certain thing for our stream on Tuesday? Are you gonna wear that? Cause if you are, I might throw your camera on. You bought it for that? Okay, we're throwing your camera on. At least for the beginning part of it. Shift your oval. Oh whoa. Heck. Birthday streams are so fun. I know, right? I didn't really do anything for mine last year. I didn't know. I was a heckin' newbie for my birthday last year. I didn't know what to do. What should we do this year? I don't even know. I think I just want to like hang out with friends. Maybe we can get like the biggest game of golf with friends ever. Right? That'd be amazing, right? Oh my god, I have so much fun. You haven't decided if for your birthday or if you just want to do a Discord party? Ooh, Discord party. You know, both would be really fun. Both would be really fun. I don't know. I guess it's like, do you want like everybody to be able to watch on Twitch, or do you want to just like have a little hangout on Discord? Birthday stream with cacti are usually alcohol based. I mean, I wouldn't see it any other way, Alex. I wouldn't see it any other way. You want to organize a game of Wolfenstein? I've never played that. It wouldn't get enough people. Why wouldn't it get enough people? Wait, how many people do you need for it? I bet you we could probably get like 10 folks. Yeah? This is crazy, but 2 more months since 1 year that you followed me? Wait, really? Oh man. Yeah, I guess it would be because you came in about a month in after I met Demo. Cause you met Demo first. And then once Demo started like coming into my stream, I went into his and then that's how we met. Yeah, I remember that. Oh my god. Man, that first month of streaming, dude, met so many amazing people. Like, it's crazy to think just the million coincidences that brought all of you folks together, brought all of us together. So many heckin' coincidences. Like, Demo was just randomly playing the same game and just decided to check out a random ass newbie and deal with all my tech issues. And that's how, like, his community came in. And then, like, Potion found Ducky just randomly scrolling through for a raid one time. And then Gamer just, like, randomly popped in when we played Valorant for, like, the only time on stream. And I said I would never play a shooter on stream, but then I played Valorant on stream. And then he just, like, randomly popped in for that stream. Like, you know, it's just crazy, the randomness of everything. And, like, how... if one thing didn't happen, how, like, you wouldn't know somebody, you know? It's just so crazy. And then, like, through TikTok, I met so many people, too. Actually insane. Also, Josh, I heckin' love those emotes. Did you draw them? Like, did you trace them? Or, like, who made those? Who made those? Who put those into the drawing form? You spent $300 on a Halloween costume? Yo, I want to know so bad now. Are you keeping it a secret or can I know? I want to know. I want to know. The sexy nurse costume. Oh my god. Not quite with a wink. Oh. You'll ask around on boards and gamers, see if you can get people. Yo, okay, but like, I'm so confused. What is Wolfenstein? I don't know what it is, but I would be hella down. I'd be hella down for whatever it is. The world is just millions of one in a million shots. It really is! It really is! It's actually insane how the world works and how many things are just like random happenstances and chances that like... I don't know, it's crazy. It's crazy. You got them on a website for free emotes. Oh my god, that's amazing. That's actually amazing. Wow, I wonder how many memes are on there. What kind of clock is a trick talk? A trick talk? Alex, you're killing me. You're killing me here. Oh man. It's a trick talk clock. Oh god. Okay, Alex, I promise I will be absolutely silent. I'll be absolutely silent, Alex. I won't immediately shout it out. Promise. Anime schoolgirl outfit for 100 get the subs? I almost said scubs. What's a scub? A Bowsette cosplay. You know what? I would pay 100 subs to see Alex in a Bowsette cosplay, actually. With like a fog machine and everything, can you imagine? 100 YouTube scubs! Wait, really? Holy shit! Oh wait, that was $300? Yo, okay, I can kind of see that. Bruh! Yo! Alex? Do you need a third? Alex, do you need a third for this? Because, I might be heckin' down if you need a third. I don't want to just, like, impose myself, but, like, I love this type of thing. I love this type of thing that I can't specify about. Fuck. Oh, man. Scubblies? Wait, what? Scubblies? Fuck. Does the 20% off also work on the scopes? God damn it. Is this another meme now? Alright, scubbies. How you doing, scubbies? Don't worry about it, Potion. Don't worry about it. Update thingy in DMs. Okay. What did you update? What did you update? Does that have sound? Whoa! Whoa! Lessie! Holy shit, that looks so fucking good, Lessie. I'm so excited for you. That's gonna be so amazing. Wow. Wow. Leslie, I'm so excited for you. Jade is possibly joining you to see if with Elena if she is going to be there or not. If you have a spot, we definitely want to see it. Okay. Yes, Alex. If a spot happens to open, count me in. I just need to know with enough time to prepare for it. So like, what? Probably the next like 2 or 3 weeks, I would say. But yeah, just let me know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I'm so excited to see it, Alex. Holy heck. That's gonna be so amazing. I just want to see it right now. I want to see it right now. Wait, do I want to see your poster for your thing? Yes, Punchy, I want to see your poster for your thing. And yes, Leslie, it's so fucking clean. Like, the fact that you made that, that's amazing. I need to learn how to do more stuff like that in Canva, because that's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's a secret, you need to hype this up. Hell yeah, get everybody wondering. And then when they come to stream and they see it, they're gonna be so fucking blown out of the water. It's gonna be amazing, dude. Yo, are you gonna go all in? Like, with your costume, or are you gonna like get a wig and everything? You gonna go all in on this? Get the shoes and all the accessories? Oh my god, I can't wait to see it! You may or may not have upgraded Canva to load in the font. Wait, upgrade like to the pro? I did the subscription, like the free thing. Oh my god! Leslie! Leslie, thank you so much for the Prime sub! Holy heck. You didn't have to do that. Thank you! For 7 whole months? Jesus. I don't even know what I was saying. Holy heck. Oh yeah, I accidentally started paying for Canva because like I did the free trial thing to like do the background removal thing for easy instead of going into Photoshop every time. And then I just forgot to cancel it. So now I'm paying for Canva. I do use it though, I do use it. You sent it? Okay. Wait, oh, the new app you stream on? Oh my god, I forgot about that. Can you send me the name of that app? Because I think I accidentally deleted the app because I forgot what it was. Oh, you already sent what it was in the message, never mind. Sorry, I had to like look under my light. Wait, who are these people? Whoa, you have so many new friends! Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this! What? Punch Fest 2021 performances? Wait, are they like music creators? What the heck? Who's the special guest? I'm so excited. What the heck? What the heck? Punchy, that's amazing. What the heck? I love the layout. I love the idea, and I want to know more. Tell us all about it. Tell us about it. You're playing the new map for the first time? Oh my god, Josh, let us know how it is. I'm so excited for you. Have fun. Musicians and dancers. First time ever doing this, so you're nervous. Oh my god. Don't be nervous. You're gonna be amazing. You're gonna have an amazing party. Oh my gosh. That sounds so cool. Okay, I need to re-download this app before I forget. That way I can be there for it. How are you liking that new app, by the way? Do you like it more than Twitch? There's gonna be a fire dancer? Wait, what? A fire dancer? Yo. No way. Oh my god. Just send it in my Discord for in a promo? I already downloaded it from you before, I'm pretty sure. I just deleted it because I forgot what it was. But no, I already have an account and I already had it downloaded before. I'm pretty sure through you. Viewers can win prizes by gifting? Wait, what? Really? Like, what kind of prizes? That's actually really cool. That's actually really cool. You like Twitch because you missed us? Oh my god, Punchy, I miss you too! Okay, now that I actually remember what this app is, I'm gonna keep it on my phone. And I'm going to make sure that I catch at least that stream. I want to catch you on more streams and like see what this app is all about because it looks really cool. Money or frames and stuff to chat with, or electronics. What the heck? What the heck? That's amazing. Never mind, this is boring. People just want to look instead of play the game. Yeah, that's fair. Is there ranked on the PBE yet? I think there is, right? Because you could probably just do like a ranked game in there and get some serious players, I'm assuming. Alright, you guys want to start, Gartic Phone? I think that was the consensus. Like, you guys wanted Gartic Phone instead of Scribble, right? Alright, let me pull something up real quick. There we go. PBE is only ranked. Oh, okay, I gotcha. You hop on what? Wait, what would you hop on? I'm so confused. Oh, hop on right now. Oh, okay. Alright, I'm going to pause Ducky's music. I'm gonna go into the live channel on Discord. If you guys would like to join voice for Gartic Phone, go ahead and join one of the voice chats, and I'll just go ahead and drag you in. Oh hey, what's up?
Oh hi.
Oh hi.
Oh fuck, I forgot we can speak in here.
Yeah, you can.
Hi. Yeah.
Garlic Phone isn't fun without friends talking.
Oh.
Punchy, right now we have, I want to say 4 people if you're joining. Yeah, we got Potion and Lessie.
Punchy, join.
Yeah, I think she is. I think she is. Yeah. Alright, let me get this set up real quick. We got some Garlic Phone. What? What's up?
I can drag when they come in.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
If anybody else wants to join in, just join in one of... Fuck, my brain just borked. Oh, join in one of the voice chats if you want to join voice. If not, I will post the link in the Discord anyways. You could just join from that if you don't want to join the voice.
May or may not have you open on 3 different devices.
Jesus. Well, hello.
Yo.
Taco.
Okay, talk again.
Hello, test.
Okay,
There you go.
I think we're good.
Great.
I just need to like adjust volumes for things. Josh, we're doing garlic phone. Oh, there's Josh. Hey, Josh, what's up?
I'm muted. That's amazing.
You're muted. Why did you mute?
I didn't. Garlic.
Garlic phone. Okay, I posted the link in the Game Codes channel. Okay. You said that you wanted... Wait. Keep yourself focused, try to replicate the drawings while the clock gets faster. Well, that sounds fun. Animation. That's the one that you wanted to try.
I would do custom settings and then do animation, but also do like no rush. at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah. I want to try like all of these. What the heck?
Go for it. I've just been watching a lot of sweaty garlic phone.
Garlic phone?
Fuck, garlic.
Garlic phone?
No, you
It's stuck
said
in-
you
it's
said
stuck
it.
in my
No, you said it
fucking
right the
vocabulary.
first time. You said
Oh,
it right the
garlic
first
phone.
time.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, good.
Garlic.
I've been watching a lot of sweaty people play it, like a lot of
Sweaty?
artists, and it's fun.
Oh.
Yeah,
The
Sweaty
esports
phone.
It's called-
Gartic
it's-
phone.
yeah, it's called sweaty garlic phone.
Garlic.
Garlic.
Fuck.
Garlic phone.
Sweaty garlic tablet.
Yeah?
There you go. Yeah,
Okay.
I got the right one. Don't worry
Ah, I
about it.
see, I see.
I mean, makes sense. I do play on a tablet.
There you go.
'cause-
Hello.
Hello.
Punchy!
Punchy!
Hi guys. Hi.
Hi, what's
Hi.
up?
Nothing much. I'm trying to find my my little pencil thing because I got my iPad out.
Mood.
Oh,
Yep.
are you listening from your iPad?
No, I'm on my PC, but I'm gonna use it from the iPad.
Okay, I hear like feedback from stream.
Oh, did you? It's
Yeah.
probably loud. My bad.
Oh, okay, it's okay. Okay.
How are you guys though?
Doing good.
Doing
Great.
good.
I am great. I am great. Thank you guys for asking.
Hell yeah.
Oh
Love
my
you,
gosh, I'm
Punchy.
so
No.
excited.
Respectfully.
I was about to say I'm so excited for this.
Punchin. Are
Alright.
you
What's up?
using your drawing tablet?
Of course I am using my drawing
That's
tablet.
cheating.
Oof.
It is not
Just
cheating.
Heard that other
3 out
people
of
have
5 of us are using
I'm
the
literally
tablet.
doing
Hold
that
on.
right now. Yeah.
See,
Heckin' drawers, dude.
Pleb over here with a
I'm
mouse.
sorry.
look,
Remember?
look, okay, I will turn off the monitor on it, but I'm still gonna use it just on my actual monitor. Okay.
I can't
How about that?
turn off the monitor to my tablet. I'm sorry.
I remember
I
when
mean,
Jesus.
Potion
You might be able to.
last
If I
played
turn
this
it off,
game,
yeah.
and he was trying to do actual art, but there was like
Yeah,
only a
but
minute.
Fucking time limit.
Luke's so good at this game. Like, so good at drawing. Holy.
Oh my gosh, all three of you are like such heckin' artists. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, I'm screwed.
No, I draw like
Uh,
actual trash on this game. Hold on.
No, you
I
don't.
draw ducks. That's all I draw.
Not
Alright.
the ducks.
where's
Potion.
the
Yeah,
little
the ducks. They're
thingamajig?
back.
The link is in the Game Codes channel.
Okay. You know what's funny? I was gonna check that first, and I went right over it.
I always
Read
miss
my
it too.
Every time we play a drawing game, duck. Wow.
Ducks. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because they're staple. You have to
Heckin'
have
ducks.
a duck in your game.
And every time we play garlic phone, it's always gamer can't swim.
Oh my
No.
god, I
It's a
remember.
Honestly, it's always Potion sus. Or
the amount of times I draw gamer and Bort in this game is it's too much. Too
Or-
much.
Fucking Toad is taking over this game.
Toad.
Look at this.
Toad, but beyond some
Oh my
different.
gosh.
Beyond
Great minds think alike.
Exactly.
Okay.
I
and-
was just thinking of the
this
little worm
one?
buddy.
Your little worm
Oh
buddy.
wait, oh my god, that does look like
Whoa.
Toad. What the fuck?
It is Toad.
It is.
Stove! What the
It
fuck,
definitely is.
dude? Oh my god, hold
Wait,
on.
what's Stove
Wait.
doing?
Stove! He's
Oh,
sub a
no.
tier 3!
Start.
I
Yeah,
love
heck.
Stove.
I am back,
No,
Stove!
we love Stove, we stand Stove, but like Stove, you don't gotta.
Right? You don't gotta
Josh,
do any of that
Josh,
shit,
did I
dude.
tell you that Stove is playing?
Is in
Wait.
the event.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Oh my god.
Can I choose to be on the team with Stove?
I need to have everyone like confirm it first before I make teams, because right now we only have like 5 people. So I don't
Me
want
and
to
Stove on
set.
the team?
Wait,
No.
if you
No.
happen to have like an open slot 2 hours in, let me know, cause
Alright, Stove.
I got
Okay.
you.
Probably will. But yeah.
Alright,
I just
Potion.
fucking read the chat.
Awesome.
Wait, what did
Potion.
you laugh at?
Yeah.
You choose to go kiss Josh. Wait,
You're-
why? Why?
You're funny. If you get Stove on your team, Potion, we get 10s.
Jesus.
Okay. You know what? If you can get him in the game, you can have him on your team.
Oh my
That's only
god.
fair.
That is
Okay? If
fair.
you can get him in your game,
Okay,
You can
Stove,
have it.
I feel
I
so
will
bad.
happily
Like,
face it if you manage to do it.
I am so far
by
behind
the way,
on
Josh, I'm
postcards.
gonna
It's
send you
not even
something real
funny.
quick. Let me know
But I
if you want
have
me to make
stuff
you
for
one.
you outside of postcards. So, hey, okay, Stove, by the way, can I also send you something
real
for
quiet.
Gamer too?
It did.
Can I send you some stuff for Gamer as well?
really?
He said he wanted to be on your team. Oh, poor
Like a tiny bot
Josh.
keeps connecting.
Poor
Sorry.
Josh. Yeah,
I'm just
okay.
looking at that
So I'm gonna send
constantly.
you some stuff. I'm gonna
I
send you some
also
stuff for
refuse
Gamer.
to call it tiny cacti bot. I call it little cacti boy.
I've been so
Oh,
fucking
that's
busy the
very
past few months.
cool.
Little
Like,
plant man.
I feel so bad. I need to like get on top of these
Little
postcards. I
cripple.
need to like set a day each month to where I
Here,
just sit down and
I
like
take
do
that
them
one
and
back.
send them
Don't use that
out.
one.
You were wondering why the tiny Cactobot was not scanning any users? Literally all the people in chat are subs! Yeah, it's because of all you crazy people! All you
Fuck, I'm so
heckin'
ready for
crazy
the
people are
animation
just
one,
like
dude.
doing all
So
the
fucking
things.
Fun. Oh wait, what happened?
All
I didn't
the
click it. Did I break
things.
something? What the fuck did I do?
Okay.
No, that
Time.
wasn't you. That wasn't you.
Only when the majority.
That wasn't
okay.
me?
dang.
No,
Sure.
I just saw it happen on stream.
Oh,
Okay, what happened? Sorry.
I thought I clicked something and broke.
What'd you do?
Lusty,
No,
What
no, you're
happened?
looking at the settings and it changed for us as well.
Oh,
I'll talk to
Scared the
you
shit
about
out
it
of me.
later, okay?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's all good.
Okay. So I'm doing dynamic time, task flow, writing, then drawing, and then wait. Yeah, we have enough people to just do all turns. Okay, wait.
My
So
one-
wait, I'm confused. How do you okay? Well, let's just do like a regular round, and then we'll do the other ones. Does that sound good?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My one
Alright.
downfall is when everyone's gonna hit ready, and then I'm gonna be the last one drawing still. Like, oh, okay.
Okay. Does anybody not know how to play this game?
Yeah.
Bruh.
How do you
So we can
How do you
kick
aim down sights
Potion.
again?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Vote kick
No.
potion.
Yeah.
How do you? No.
Alright. Let's go ahead and start then. And if anybody has any like questions throughout the game, just let me know.
I have a question. Can we vote kick potion?
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's
Yeah.
not a question.
That's
Wait,
a
wait.
question.
Can I actually vote kick him from this channel? That's my question.
Absolutely not. I said no to it. I
Okay.
win.
Yeah, no, I can't vote kick him on this one.
I really hope somebody specific gets this one. Because it's gonna be so funny if they do.
Oh, me too. This one is just...
Oh man. I also said to where the timer doesn't go on until the majority of people have hit done. Cause I like that the best. Yeah. I like that
Potion.
the best.
You got a prompt? Does that timer be running out, Potion?
Got it.
Oh.
I love my sim.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
Oh man.
Uh.
Oh man.
I hope Potion.
I don't even know what to draw for this.
I don't remember how this looks.
I don't know what to. Yeah, I don't know what to.
This is
Oh,
going to be
fuck.
hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I don't know what to draw for this either. Like,
Heck. Okay.
Oh god, there's no smoothing on here. Oh god.
Why are you trying to smooth stuff.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Potion and his arty ways.
Heck, dude.
Arty fartsy. Oh,
Uh,
Oh no,
this feels like drawing on MS Paint, but worse. Which
for
is
real.
Ducky! Heckin' love you too.
It's like Illustrator. I hate Illustrator.
Ducky, I hope you're doing well today. Ducky, wait.
Illustrator's not the best.
Are you still here, Ducky? Because I have something to show you if you are. I have something to heckin' show you if you are. Oh man.
I still use Krita, so I guess I can't say much.
One thing they need to add though is the text feature. Because yes, you could just say what it is, but like there's so many scenarios.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. What the fuck? Oh no, this is
See,
so
mine-
bad.
Mind you, I'm a
mine's
whole
not-
art
yeah,
student.
mine's-
I don't know what to put.
Mine's
Like-
always bad.
And I've taken art class.
I went to an arts high school.
Heckin' artist. Heckin' artist.
Same.
Yo,
Oh no.
Like my
just
high
imagine
school. I was an
if they
art
just
major.
saw what we were doing now. Just any of the teachers.
No, actually, this probably matches up pretty well to how I did because I went for photography.
Oh, gotcha. Well, they'd
Yet they
probably be
still
like,
made me
"Hey, why
draw."
are you doing this in our class?" What? That's a what?
They still made you draw in photography?
That's weird.
That
What?
is very weird.
Because we weren't allowed to have a specified kind of art unless it was like theater or singing or bands. Like they let the musicians do different kinds of music.
So, what did they
Huh.
do? They're like, here, draw a smiley face. So the school
Totally
No,
forgot how this one
they-
shut us down.
They really enjoyed trying to make us do photorealistic stuff.
Yeah, what?
Ooh.
What,
And I hated
drawing?
myself.
In photos? Wait.
No, yeah, in drawing and painting, and I hated every single second of it
Weird.
because I am not a photorealist artist unless I am a photographing people.
Alright, I am heckin'
I'm
done with
looking
this
at drawing.
drawing.
Potion.
Timer
you
be
done?
Trying to get over
going.
this.
You done potion?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Oh,
I
wait,
love
oh, wait,
messing with
oh,
potion
wait.
in the timer.
I feel like I got yours, Josh.
Maybe.
Fuck that. God, please, I just want to blend in this. It hurts. It fucking hurts.
Oh my gosh.
There
Can't
has to be a
blend, but
way.
you can do gradients.
Oh, I
don't-
forgot about
That's
that.
not good enough.
Listen, Linda, listen. I can explain when y'all see this.
Listen, Linda.
What?
What?
What am I looking at? What am
What? What is this?
I'm sure it's mine. I'm sure it's mine.
Oh no.
Okay, so this
What?
might be. I may have gotten
I
What did you
I
just get?
pretty
This-
much didn't
I
even
don't-
follow the prompt because it's like, oh, what is this?
Wait.
This is so good. What the fuck? I can't wait to see these.
Oh,
I didn't get to.
Oh crap!
I didn't get
Oh,
to
no.
send my prompt.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I definitely got Leslie's. This has to be Leslie.
Uh-oh.
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 I was.
Somebody
wrong.
didn't finish. Okay, whose prompt was fighting over something something?
That yeah. See, the thing is, I didn't get to to finish that one.
What was it supposed to be?
Fighting over a pot of gold.
Okay, gotcha.
Um.
Suddenly, I don't remember what this person looks like.
Story of my life.
Gross. Okay,
What?
gross.
So
What gross?
does your prompt?
What I'm drawing.
Like, I gotta know. Does the prompt, if you don't hit send, does it still send it? Like,
It sends it without the last word you were working on, I think. Or no, it'll send it with whatever you had.
Will it?
Because
Yeah.
well, I finished it technically, but didn't get sent in there. So. Like I didn't hit done.
Who's already done?
That would be me.
How
Heck
dare
out
you.
of here.
Don't give me easy prompts.
I
Don't
want easy
remember what this
prompts.
person looks like.
I don't know why I'm blaming you, because it's the game who randomizes it, but
Give me easy prompts.
That is his neck is broken. Oh god, it's so broken. Well, he's gonna
I
have a
don't
broken
know
neck.
what you're
Oh my
trying.
gosh.
What's the neck doing?
Snoop playing hello. How you
No, I mean,
doing?
What the
What
neck
the neck-
do be doing?
What the neck do?
What the neck doing?
Maybe I can-
Yo.
Maybe I can salvage this.
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing?
This is something. This is something. I'm spending way too much time on this. Oh my gosh.
I'm so tired. I just woke up.
Yo, I woke up from a nap. Let's go.
I woke up just from sleeping.
I woke up at like 4, an hour before I needed to submit an assignment. I had not yet started. That's why I
just
did start
finished
it.
working on my job
I
packet.
stayed up till like 6 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm like, oh shoot, I got my other shot today, so I had to
Oh,
stay up even
no.
longer. So then I stayed up till like 12
Oh
in the
no.
afternoon, and then I finally crashed.
Wait, until you did your second shot today then?
We have
Yeah,
a
I
brand
did.
new friend with
How'd that go?
us. Thank you
it
so
went
much
fine.
for the follow.
Not Mika? Mika? I want to say it's Mika. Not Mika Gaming. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Hope you enjoy it here.
Not Hatsumiku. Gaming.
Bruh, I
Sorry.
didn't say Miku.
I
Sorry,
was
sorry.
thinking of the VTuber on Twitch, the very famous one.
Named
I think I
Miko?
know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Code Miko?
Oh yeah, Kobiko!
Oh, see, I was trying to figure out
Mika.
who you were meaning.
They were right. I was right. It's Mika. It's Mika.
I think you're right. Miku.
No.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Potion.
Oh.
Sure.
Finish.
Also, Mika, how are you
Oh,
doing
snap,
today?
crackle, pop.
Hope you're having a good day. We're just
Oh,
playing
no.
some
You
Gartic
guys
Phone
get
with
the
people.
Like,
You get the gist.
no one's gonna get the gist of mine. Oh god. Oh no.
Potion,
got
what did I
this.
tell you about
Got
drawing
this.
furries?
Holy shit, you almost got it.
Really? Oh
Wait,
my
no, stop
god,
calling
wait!
that.
Wait! What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
I don't know what I'm looking at,
I'm
dude.
crying. I'm crying.
The best part of this game isn't even the
Oh, I think
drawing
this one is easy.
or the prompts. It's looking at the end result.
It really is.
And how it got from something to another.
It really is. You're doing well. I'm glad to hear that, Mika. I'm doing well too. I just got back from a break, and it was a really nice break. Enjoyed it lots. Very relaxing. Oh god.
What are these?
Nope.
Okay,
I can't draw
okay.
ovals, I've come to find out.
ovals.
Yeah.
You just draw an oval.
I
Bada
mean,
boom, bada bing.
oh yeah, that's easy. Sorry, yeah.
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 Have you ever seen that video where the guy just like rotates his whole hand and just draws a perfect circle?
Yes, I hate it.
That shit scares me. He's not human.
I don't know.
Almost
how to
did that
draw
once.
this.
I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
In class, yeah.
The heck?
My professor was like, "Wow, okay," and
I
she just
don't know
moved
what to
on.
do.
You should have got like extra credit, way extra credit.
Yeah, they don't
Like you
believe
should
in
have
that.
passed the class in one.
They don't
Like
believe in that.
once.
I wish
Wait.
the stress I went through afterwards.
They didn't
holy.
believe you?
No, they don't believe in just giving extra credit and stuff, even if you did it the right way.
Oh,
To like deal with it. You did it. That's what you were supposed to do.
Jesus.
Can't like
Oh.
I'm like,
My teachers got mad at me for finishing projects early.
yeah, same. Same.
They're like,
That's
"You're gonna
crazy.
take more time," but I didn't need more time.
See,
I did it.
weird thing is, my teachers always got mad because I never turned in the assignments, and I don't know
Oh
why.
my gosh. Hi, Muffin. You can't unsee a
Like, they're like,
quagsire
"Don't
now that I
rush
call
through it." I'm not. I'm just
Wait.
taking my time.
a
Like,
quagsire? Wait,
Do you work, Josh?
what? Like, what?
Josh, you know what? I think I may know why they
I
got
can
mad.
kind of see it, like,
What's that?
before I put in, like, the marshmallows
Maybe
and
it's
stuff.
because they weren't
I can
taking
kind
their
of
time.
see it.
Maybe they were rushing.
Also,
They were rushing.
like,
Oh, big
see.
brain.
Mm.
This whole time, I thought he was just
That's
not doing his
better.
work.
I can kind of see
halfway
it.
done.
Let me see if you can clip it.
Wait,
Okay,
what?
yeah, do it.
No, chillax, guys. Hold on. Give me a second. Give
Yeah,
me a second.
I am not gonna make this one.
Yeah,
Looks
me
like
neither.
you guys get this.
The amount of circles are pure pain. Sometimes you put your hand on the paper and turn the paper itself to make a
Can I
circle.
quickly like
Yo,
sum it up?
that's actually like super
By the way,
smart.
Santasia, don't
Also,
forget to turn the TTS lady on in
Gonna
the
say CC Uni? CC Uni? Is that how you say your name? Okay, what about TTS? What?
Wait,
No.
you can turn
Oh my God.
TTS that reads
is
the
ridiculous.
albums.
Yeah. I always do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your sex tape. Don't forget to turn the
This-
TTS lady
This is a
on.
warm-up game.
Okay.
Okay. This is warm-up.
Oh, Muffin. Can you put that in the Discord? Actually, I forgot that I made it to where you can't put in links unless you are a mod or a VIP.
もう死んでいる。
Huh?
何?
Oh my god! Alex, the fuck! Thank you for the biddies for your Maiwamu. I got it right. It's called you Uni. Okay. Well, welcome, Uni. Great to have you. Alright. Let's play through these. Myung. Let's see what our heckin' things are now.
Oh, this all.
Uni, thank you so much. Thank you for following.
Amazing.
Hope you enjoy it here.
Dude,
Which
I
Discord
only-
tab?
I only
You can put it in the clips Discord tab. Alright, let's hit start. Let's see our beautiful drawings.
Just a dog walking his fish.
Oh, okay, that's where that came from.
Oh my fucking god, what the heck?
Walk
Okay,
your fish
so-
to work day.
Oh, Punchy, that is
I
really
got some
good.
heckin'
Thanks,
artists in
Elfin.
here. Let's
Man
go.
walking fish.
What?
Is that
The fuck?
Minecraft
Just
Steve?
stay on track.
Oh, that was Minecraft Steve. I know what you did. I saw that, Punchy.
Okay,
Wait, let's
downloading
see
that.
the little sensor bar.
It's like a sim.
Oh
It's
my
like ready to
God,
shower.
that's so good.
And yeah, I
Oh,
did think of
man.
Minecraft, Steve. I'm not gonna lie.
You did.
I did. I always think about Steve.
That's so good. Oh,
God, I got
Uni,
that. As
thank
soon as
you.
I saw the
I appreciate
double
you.
blue one, Steve, right there. Nailed it.
Bork. Okay. Muffin says that.
of greed do?
Ooh. Punchy, Muffin says that your drawing was clean.
I didn't
Oh,
know
thanks.
what to
You're not
do
gonna
for
say
this
that
one.
next time.
Fighting over.
It went downhill quickly.
Hey.
Okay. So this is gonna be the really unfinished
Fighting by a
one.
pot of
Oh,
gold.
no.
Okay.
God damn it, Leslie, you had to do this in no
Oh,
time.
Jesus.
But that was
I
a good
didn't even
drawing.
finish.
It was good though.
I can't draw quickly, so that was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. I can't either, so don't worry.
This is actually really impressive.
On us, potion.
Right?
I'm flexing.
Flex.
I'm panicking.
Flex.
Potion holding hands with cracked toad.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
I
no.
did-
yeah, that one left.
Wait, I got it. Wait, no, I actually got it.
Yeah.
Potion holding hands with toad on crack.
Oh, that was good.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Stop now.
So it's Potion's fault.
Listen,
It's always Potion's fault.
I knew something went left, okay?
That's so fucking good though. Wait, why is that so good?
I tried to rush the last hand too. I couldn't get the black
It
line.
still looks very good though.
It does.
It does.
Thanks.
Leslie's coffee addiction.
Oh no.
Okay.
I
knew
definitely
this
panicked
was-
on this one.
I knew this was
Oh,
Leslie.
oh,
Fucking
interesting.
panicked so hard.
Oh
Cup
no.
of
I didn't
coffee.
even get the Lessie in there.
Oh,
I was gonna put Lessie in the cup.
well, mine looks dumb
was just
compared
coffee.
to Potion's.
Hot chocolate.
Ooh.
That's what I thought
It
it
does
was.
look like hot chocolate.
That's okay.
Let's
I
go.
admit that.
Hey!
Oh, that was really good.
Thank you, thank you.
So when I drew that, I
Good.
figured that like somebody's gonna say hot chocolate.
Yeah, I was gonna say coffee, but then I was like,
Mario,
no,
but Bowser
there's
do
no
be
way.
looking kinda hot and
Potion.
GM.
Oh my god.
I knew this.
What the fuck?
Mario
I couldn't
looking at
remember
sexy
how to
bows.
like.
Oh no.
I was like, look, you guys will get it. You guys will get it.
Oh
Bowser seducing Mario, you woo.
no.
There we go.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Dear.
Fucking cursed.
Hey, there-
God damn it. Yene, hello. How are you doing today? Sorry you had to come in on that. But
I'm not.
Back now.
You're welcome.
There's
You got
still
to saw our
time.
masterpiece.
That was
Oh, God.
interesting. It was very fun to
Oh,
draw
no.
also.
Okay, Punchy, yours
I'm
was
glad.
amazing though. Like, what
Thank
the
you.
fuck?
Thank you. Oh, wait. I was like struggling too. I was like, wait, what color again?
More,
How does he
More
look again?
comfort.
Okay,
Party in a
listen.
doghouse at night.
Oh my
Listen,
god.
God.
This is the one that
Oh,
I
no,
got
you
first.
guys-
I was like, how?
Oh, you guys are not gonna like this. Oh no.
Dog's nighttime disco party.
Oh,
Hey.
Leslie, why did you have to do this to me?
It is for
My god.
His neck is broken.
Party
I'm
in the
sorry.
doghouse.
What?
Wait, what? That was really good though.
You did. It actually stayed on track.
Wait, what?
Hold on, Shifter, how'd you get that? What the fuck?
I broke that poor dog's neck, dude. He was looking
Insane.
backward.
How'd you actually get that?
Potion.
Yeah.
Oh
dog
man.
doing?
What the dog doing?
I don't know what
Every
I'm
time
doing.
you kept saying that, I was like, Josh, please, you're just saying my prompt.
By the way, you're muted if you're trying to talk.
Oh, I am?
No, not
Great.
you.
Oh,
Shifter.
Oh, I am.
Not everything's about you.
I'm sorry.
Potion.
I
Oh,
overlooked
you're,
these.
it's all
you're fine.
Yeah, Potion. Not everything is about you. Imagine trying to
No,
make
I'm
it.
I
muted
know,
right now.
right? Alright, if you guys
Whoa,
want
whoa,
to join, the link is in my Discord. Fuck, hold on. Discord, there you go. It's in the Game Codes channel. I'm so hyped. Okay, so...
I've got to bounce. Thank
Okay.
you. I'm gonna go to work. See you guys.
Alright,
Okay,
bye.
bye.
Thank you for
Take it
playing.
easy. Animation, animation, animation.
But,
I mean, nothing. Wasn't saying anything.
Potion.
Just for that, let's not do animation ever.
Ever. It was the ever for me.
I kind of want to do one more regular one, and then we can. Okay.
Okay,
Sound
sounds
good?
good. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Potion
Yeah.
just wants to achieve his dream of being an animator, and we're just all denying it.
Thought you were about to say an
This is the
anime
only way
girl.
to start. What?
Wait, an anime what?
It's too late. I already am.
You guys
So
know that's
okay.
Anime Girl. I don't know why I
Bought a
thought it was going there.
$700 VTuber model. It's too
Potion.
late. Now that you said it. Yeah. What's up?
You got it.
It's
speaking
in the
voice now.
game codes channel. Okay, so I want to watch real quick. Muffin posted something
Potion.
for us to watch.
Oh.
Seen that video where the guy just like rotates my own personal hand and just draws
Oh
a
my
perfect
gosh.
circle.
Yes, I hate it.
Voice potion?
Wait, that's the part where
I got
you look like a Quagsire? I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it like with the tail and stuff.
Oh wow! There you go.
Oh
There's
man.
my new voice.
Oh,
I sound like
man.
an anime girl. I know.
You sound
Alright.
like Marge Yeshuba's Anime Girl.
So here's the
Ooh, homie.
God damn it. Here's the plan. We're gonna do another random one for our new folks, and then we're gonna do oh.
Oh.
So we're gonna do a regular one, and then we're gonna do animation, and then knockoff. Probably, yeah.
What is knockoff?
It's a new one. I don't know.
Oh, knock
It's,
it
I
off,
can explain.
potion.
Okay. It's trying to draw exactly the same as the other person did.
Oh.
Oh, is
I
that when
see.
the screen like goes black or something? Because I think we
don't
played
know.
that, did we not?
I don't. No, so
I
I think it's when you have to like replicate somebody else's thing. I don't know. I can't remember what it actually said.
I remember
Uni put
playing
it
that
like
before.
Oh yeah, Uni said
Yeah,
you
you just draw
draw
in less time.
and then you replicate the drawings, but you get less and less time. Oh, it's super hectic.
Oh, we played
I
something like that though.
Oh god.
Yeah, that is super.
All right, do we
Especially
have?
for potion? Cause
Sorry.
what?
I was gonna say, do we have everybody in that wants to join?
I'm good to go.
Potion? Nobody invited. I'm sorry. We're just being so mean to potion.
You're like,
tonight.
Potion. Nobody asked you.
This is what happens when I join.
Listen, Linda, listen.
Listen, Linda.
Well,
Linda,
for
Linda,
real.
listen. Linda.
You gotta
Her name's
learn,
not Linda.
Linda. You gotta learn that you do this to yourself.
Not Linda. Please.
Who is
Mercy on
Linda?
me.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
Linda.
If everyone's in, let's go ahead and start. Let's go.
Wait, why can I not redeem the sus?
Because I have them all turned off.
Oh.
I forgot about that. Trigger fire wasn't working.
Mm.
Last stream, like over a week ago. So it might be working now. I might try it. Heck, what do I want to do?
I knew what I started off with,
I
what
wanna
prompt I wanted
do-
instantly. I had this one ready. It was like in the back of my head. Ready just to shoot it out there.
Okay. I got it. Let me go through and try to turn these back on. If it'll let me.
Okay, this one is super random, but like I feel like it'd be really cute.
Whoever gave me this prompt, thank you.
Yeah?
You are a god amongst men. Yes.
Oh, so Uni, we have it on where the timer relay turns on once the majority of people have hit done. Okay, this is going to be so difficult. What the heck? Oh man. Oh man. Oh, I'm fucking it up already. Oh no. Wait.
I don't know what to draw for this one.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Well, thank you for getting this prompt, because I turned it terribly wrong.
Oh no, this is looking so bad.
So was mine.
Oh, so is mine.
Shut up. It's good. You know it's
Fuck,
gonna be
how do I-
good.
It's not. Oh no, I'm forgetting what perspective even means.
Throw it out the window.
Oh, fuck perspective. You're right.
Oh no.
I'm an independent artist. I don't care enough.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, this is so bad.
This is why I'm not allowed in art schools anymore. They said no, 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 no more.
Oh god. Oh god. Terry, no! Terry, look away! Terry, look away!
His poor eyes.
Terry?
Yeah, Terry's here! Look away, Terry! Look away!
Why does it look like a ramp? You know what? We're going with this. It's a ramp now.
Let me tell you.
no. This is just looking worse and worse. This is looking worse and worse, and I hate it. I
If you
actually
hang out
hate
with
it.
Terry,
What?
I said, if you hang out with Terry, you're definitely used to what you're drawing. I don't know what you're drawing, but it sounds very bad.
It's not great. Oh man.
Oh no, that's not right.
I don't know, chat. What do you think? You think I did okay? Think I did okay? Here, let me just
Fuck it. We're taking the easy way out.
do this.
No, that's the bad way out.
Look at him. He's cute, actually. Aw. Here, let's do this. Heck. 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 Look at that. Aw, so cute. So
Oh,
cute.
no. Oh no.
Oh no, Alex. Alex, no.
What do you mean? Oh no, potion.
Fuck.
Oh no,
Wait.
this is not turning out right at
Dodo
all.
do oo
Oh,
brap
there
brap
goes
prop.
TTS is just
do oo
delayed.
brap prop do dodo
So-
bobo bob jub jub g
I
jub
have
do do
patience
do
did it
bobo
against
bob
me
jub
right
g
now.
jub jub potion
And-
sus dodo do brap brap prop
supposed to have
do do do
apple,
brap
but I
brap
have
prop
taste
do
in
dodo
my
bobo
mouth.
bob jub g jub
See
do
if I
do
can
do
just
bobo
redraw
bob
this
jub
because
g
there's
jub
only
g
three
jub
episodes.
potion susdo do do brap
I
brap
can't hear
prop
anything you guys
do
are saying,
do
by
do
the way. I'm
brap
being
brap prop
TTS
do dodo
spammed.
bobo bob jub g jub do do
Oh,
do bobo bob
Jesus.
jub
Get
g
up.
jub g jub potion susdo do do brap brap prop do 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 brap brap prop do dodo bobo bob jub g
Hey,
jub g jub
Santasia's
do do
chat.
do
This
bobo
is
bob
a
jub
fun
g jub
trivia
g jub
fact. I
potion
was the
susdo
reason
do
that
do brap brap prop
TTS
do
is
do
now
do brap
3
brap
bits
prop do
instead of
dodo
1.
bobo.
It
Remember
is.
that day?
It is. Yup.
That's hilarious.
No, like people kept just spinning like one biddy. The entire stream was just nothing but TTS spam. So I was like, all right, it's now 3. Oh man, Muffin.
I
and
remember
Muffin,
not feeling great that day.
Potion.
Thank you, Muffin. I'm glad that
Hey.
you like it. I'm glad you like
Give me
it.
your input. Is it
Jago,
fair
I'll have
that
it up on Etsy here in like a little bit.
it's
Yep.
3 bits now because I was putting the SpongeBob movie script into chat?
Oh god.
That's not. I think that's fair.
You are why we
know?
can't have
Yeah, it's
nice
perfect.
things.
You know, everyone deserves to hear the script. Just let them have it, you know?
Right?
Oh man.
If I obsess over this, we will
Listen,
never finish.
on.
It could have been
Oh,
worse. I
No,
No.
that's
could've been
perfectly
the
fine. Keep
bean.
obsessing over it.
No.
I beg you, actually.
Crazy whoever gets this next. I really, really am.
I actually kind of like mine. Not gonna lie. It actually is kind of cute. Okay.
Listen, just whatever you do, don't hit the ready button.
Like, I'm
if you do-
terrified.
Everybody hit the ready button.
Hold on.
Because
I'm
this is a
gonna.
beloved creature. I'm scared.
I'm testing things. I'm testing trigger fire. Trigger fire is not working. Trigger fire is working.
Oh, hey
Wow,
Jack.
that was,
You're
pretty
beautiful,
quick, huh?
amazing people.
All right, trigger fire is behind something. Give me a second. Give me a second.
Good.
Where is it? Fuck, where did I put it? God damn it. I found it. Let's go. Why is window capture above everything? Help.
Oh no, that's way too big.
Alright.
She said.
I was waiting for
That
it.
caught me so off guard!
Wait, trigger fire. Oh wait. But I can't look at your screen, so I can't go
Oh,
on chat. I was gonna
fuck.
redeem Tim's reward.
I can redeem Tim's thing for you.
Redeem it, because I can't. I don't have chat popped up.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm just putting everything back on. Is that... Alright, I think
my
everything's
biggest
on
pet
now.
peeve out of everything. That I
Okay,
can't rotate the
actually,
canvas.
I think I kind of like mine. Do I think it looks like what it was supposed to be? Absolutely not.
Oh
Why
no.
do I feel like that's a general just consensus?
Alright, you wanted Tim's thing? Okay.
Yeah.
There's Tim's thing. Please work. There we go.
We're blasting
That's
off
for you,
again.
Potion.
Title of my sex tape.
I
Oh
don't
my
even know what's
god,
going
Josh
on.
has a
I'm too busy
pog?
trying this.
Josh has a pog?
What?
You have a pog emo? Pog?
I've had that pog emote forever.
Heckin' pog champ. I'm just dumb, it's okay. Izzy! Thank you so much for the compliment. Thank you, thank you.
I am
Technically
trying,
not supposed to
God.
say what they are right now. So I'm not gonna comment on what it is, but I appreciate you.
Just gives the entire prompt away.
Hmm.
Come on, I can do this. I can't do this. Okay, well that looks like Among Us. You know what? Fine.
Who
keep
added
it.
me? Who? What? Wait. Somebody actually searched me up on Snapchat to add me, and I have no idea who they are. Help.
Probably a bot. Bots can do that now.
His name is Paulson.
Yeah, bots do that now.
Interesting. Interesting.
Oh my.
Heck.
Oh my.
It's so that way they can actually get the ad off.
Shindere.
Nani?
Nani?
God damn it, as soon as you said that, the fucking song started playing in my head. You had to do this to me? I don't think we have the right so like same song going on.
God, now I listen to it so bad.
Yeah, this is a
I wanna
complete
listen
different
to
song,
it.
I'm pretty sure that we're thinking.
Wait,
It
what song
probably.
is it?
Is it by Little Boom?
I have no idea who it's by.
Good, fair point.
Wait, Lil Boom.
Hold
We
on,
all
hold
might
on,
be
hold on.
thinking of the same song.
This is gonna be just like some scuffed ass audio, but give me a second.
That sounds familiar. What is it?
I used it in one of my
Hinare.
ship hosts against Skooma.
Oh, the one you told me about. Okay.
Yeah. Little Boom.
Scooms.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Just,
Is this it?
just the Among Us character. Just.
This one.
Yes, that's the one I thought about.
I don't have audio up. Yeah, that's Little Boom. Already dead. Come on.
Yeah, it is. My mic isn't picking it up.
Yeah, I think- By the way, I'm pretty much almost done. I should probably keep
Yo.
going
I heckin' love this
Hey, I'm not
song.
the only one.
I don't know, Potion. We've only been on the screen for like 3 hours, and it's all your fault.
I really appreciate the time, though. Actually,
Yeah, I'm
You
taking
know,
advantage too much too.
We're gonna spend
I'm
our
adding
entire night on
shading and
this.
shit.
We're spending our entire night on this, and I don't know how I feel about that.
You know, that's
I bet-
fine with me actually.
We have 7 rounds to get through.
I've been done with my drawing like 20 minutes
Content.
ago.
Same.
Content.
Heckin' content.
Can't end stream till we finish Garlic Phone.
Garlic
Garlic.
phone. Garlic
I
phone.
think
Oh no, this looks like fucking Firefox.
Oh no.
Okay, I actually think mine's
Well-
cute as fuck. So I'm gonna just hit done.
Let's go.
No,
Let's
no,
start the
that's not the
timer.
timer.
Let's go.
Speaking of
Hell yeah!
Firefox,
Imagine seeing that it's only you.
did anybody
Oh fuck!
teacher
It is only me.
like?
I just don't want to make it look like Firefox. Please.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
appreciate you.
if anybody else's teachers did this. All right, so every time they said Firefox, they wouldn't just say Firefox. They said
Ow, fuck.
the full entire name, the Mozilla Firefox,
Oh wait, yeah, no,
I
for
definitely
real.
got potions.
and it was super annoying to me, and I don't know why.
Which one did you get? Potion.
I don't know.
Oh no.
This is
I can see an obvious trait right there. And I see a very fucking obvious one. But what the fuck is?
Oh man.
I'm not writing it. I know what this prompt is, and I ain't giving it to you.
I hope you got mine. I hope to God you got mine.
Is yours?
I don't know what
Is it
this one
kawaii?
is.
I would have used that one. I would have used that fucking word. What is it?
Quietus.
I would like to make an assumption real fast that it is potions in a mate outfit. 'Cause if that is true, that
oh
is amazing.
my Lanta! It put my word into one.
Oh no.
Wait, how do I
Listen, you're gonna get the
this?
gist. Whoever gets it, I'm sorry.
No, you didn't get mine. I got yours. Fuck.
Wait,
Yeah,
I
fuck.
forgot what this guy looks like. No.
Punchy, I think I got yours. Cause
Oh, I'm
I am
sorry.
very-
Sorry.
does it have the word "two" in front of it?
No. I think. I think.
Alright, I
Oh no. Drawing people is the worst.
Genuinely forgot what this guy looks like. Y'all making me draw him.
This is literally the worst. I hate it. By the way, Potion, I'm banning you from doing these prompts.
You're welcome. Wait, what prompt did I put?
No, I ain't
Potion.
doing this.
We told you about.
Oh. Hey, listen. It's only fair when you see what it was about.
Yeah?
Yeah. You can actually make something off of that too. That works. Yeah, you got this.
Yeah,
What do you
you
think about
sure?
Assuming it was potion sus something.
Probably.
Listen, I ain't saying what it was, but how dare whoever put it?
Again, I'm sure it was potion something. Because
Kawaii.
since the last time he said, he just puts no stop
Yeah,
or stop.
potion.
No.
I'm gonna be honest. You are
Oh no.
sus.
I can't. Oh shit! That's the wrong button!
and
Oh
you just
no!
need to embrace it, okay?
How do I draw this? I ain't
Oh,
embracing
no.
anything
Oh no.
except
Listen.
for impact.
You're the only one who derails it, though.
It's very
feel
true.
Really, anything.
I feel like you should.
Oh
just
no, I shouldn't do
embrace
that
it.
either. I don't embrace anything, Josh.
Does that look like they're crossing their hands? I don't know. Does
Potion.
it?
I could do this.
Heck.
This might
is-
work.
This is why
This
we
is not
call
gonna
you
work.
sus.
Heck. Okay.
Who's why?
There
Why
we
does one
go.
hit ready?
I'm done.
Why did two
I'm
people hit
done.
done? Listen. You don't have to do this. You don't have to hit it. Matter of fact,
So the funny thing
Oh
is,
man.
I'm not an artist, so I don't care what mine looks
listen.
like.
You don't have
Yeah,
to. do it.
same. Honestly. Heck.
It's garlic phone. You get the same presets as MS Paint. I don't need a lot of time, okay?
Garlic phone.
You can make some impressive stuff. with
Let's
MS Paint.
go.
That's all I'm saying. See?
Kennedys.
Wait. Izzy, look. Look what I got. Look what I got. I'm so excited. It's such a good size, too. Heckin' like it.
I thought you broke it. I heard just a crashing sound from it. I was like, wow. Oh
It's
no.
not good, no. Gross. All that needs to be said.
Yes, Izzy, cookie water water
Guys,
bottle. It's
Not
so
the
nice.
design, by the way. I
Might
wanna put that
actually
out
like
there.
this one.
What,
I
Josh?
mean,
Kind of.
oh, I said it's gross, and I meant, and I was just saying not the design, by the way.
Who knows what's actually in here? You never know. Maybe it is actual
You're
cookie
probably
water.
drinking cookie water. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah? Yeah? I haven't washed it yet, so I'm
That's
not
how
putting my
she
mouth on
powers
it,
up in-
but
That's her coffee. That's how she wakes up in the morning.
I don't like coffee.
The best.
I
part of
know.
waking up
That's why I said that's your
Oh,
coffee.
is cookie
yeah,
water
yeah.
in your cup.
Oh, Jesus
New
Christ.
jingle?
So,
New jingle?
so it came with like a little keychain loop on it. I'm thinking about adding like little EV keychains to the shop
Hell yeah.
and then getting those. Would that be a good idea?
Yeah.
God, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
way
yeah.
too many things on the shop. I need to delete some. Whatever doesn't get bought like by the end of this month, I'm probably gonna delete.
Can you make a poster of punches drawn of the Bowser?
Oh my god, wait. Actually though? Punchy, you should make that.
Right? That'd be pretty cool.
Oh man. Tall Guy Gaming? Oh my gosh, hello. How have you been? Holy heck, how you been?
Potion, are you done?
It's been a while.
Absolutely not.
You
I'm
better
gonna add
be.
some things while I have time.
Oh my
Trying to
Timer's
speed run
almost
that some
halfway
stuff.
done.
Good, thank you so
Speedrun,
much for the
speedrun.
host. The heckin' host. Thank you. Oh, they don't have keychains on this. What the fuck?
They don't?
No.
Bum, 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 bum,
What the
bum,
heck?
bum.
Hold on. Accessories.
Oh, time's almost up.
Other?
That's fine. I quickly sketched this. I ain't painting it.
How to Among Us?
Yo,
Keyring
that's cute.
tag.
Wait.
Tig. Wait, this is
this? 'Cause
adorable. What the
it's so
frick?
cute.
Does these?
I got
Oh
an
my
adorable one
gosh.
too.
What am I looking at? I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is at all. All right.
There we go.
I
That was a
think I
cute
got
one.
Let's
Good
go.
job.
Potion.
Oh my gosh.
I think I got yours because it's sketch.
Been good. Been around doing your stuff. Expecting your child to be born. Oh my god.
It is not.
I didn't finish.
Oh my god.
What
You
is
can have
this, bro?
Oh, your sex tape.
Oh my gosh, Tall Guy.
I'm sorry, this is an issue
That's
now.
amazing. Do you know if it's a boy or a girl? Aww.
Oh my.
I'm so
am I supposed to
excited
do
for
this?
you. What the heck?
I think that one's mine. I feel like that's exactly what would be said about it.
Okay.
Oh god. Somewhere I want to put that.
Is that no?
Okay, here goes nothing.
Okay.
I don't know what to draw for this one. I'm so sorry.
Oh god. Oh shit. Is this how you draw this dude? I think.
Oh crap.
Oh shit. Oh god. Oh. Oh fuck. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Who the fuck is done? Who the fuck is done already?
Listen, I don't know what to draw, and I do it so basic. I'm just like, I'm already done.
Bruh.
Get good. That's all I gotta say.
Get good, scrub.
Get
God.
gone.
Get good, scub.
Scub.
Scubblies.
Wait. Oh, that's the wrong tool. That.
I did that like 30 times.
This is so trash. Y'all, I can't draw to save my life.
It's
Oh.
okay. It's only gonna take sorry, garlic phone.
Garlic phone.
I do have garlic knots on my stove right now. Go grab.
Garlic knots? Give me some, please. Thank you.
Who wants some?
Me? Let's go.
Alright,
Me, poor favors.
I'll be right back.
Yes.
Ooh, wait. Thick. Hey, let's go. No. There we go. This is.
Alright.
Those rings kind of thick.
I got the garlic nuts.
I
Pass them
hope.
around.
I really, Potion, I really hope you get this one because you're going to actually hate it, and I enjoy that.
Why do you enjoy me hating things?
I like potion hating.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I lost my little fidget toy, probably because I threw it down because I hurt myself, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. Nana!
Did you know that your Amazon Prime account
God
can be linked
damn
to
it,
Twitch
Nana.
and bamboozle Fantasia, making them think this was a Prime plug, but instead a distraction. Making it hit different when Nana lets them know how precious they are. Don't even try it. Nana has spoken heart.
Nana, heckin' in a reverse. How you been, Nana? I heckin' adore you.
We got a panic here.
She knows but hasn't told you yet? Wait, really? Oh, so are you gonna just be surprised on the day of, tall guy? Kinda thick. He said the rings are cringe, chilling dogs are pig. Wait, what? I'm so confused.
No, that's wrong.
Got him. You did get me, Nana. You did get me. Hey. Hey.
No, I couldn't add an I. Fuck.
Wait, what is this?
Whoa.
What? This is so fucking cute. What the hell?
What is this?
There we go.
Oh, I hope y'all know Japanese, whoever gets this. It's definitely not proper, but like,
Oh, no.
It's the last one. Aw.
Oh no,
Yeah?
I didn't finish my sentence.
Heck. She's gonna do a gender reveal party. Oh my god, this is so much fun. You have to tell us all about it, dude. Can't be too predictable now, gotta keep things fresh. Fair enough, Nina, fair enough. Alright, let's see these. Let's see all these drawings.
Evie learning how to fly.
Hell yeah.
Oh, this is where this prompt came from.
Yeah.
There's a super cute one in here that I got.
Oh my god, that's
really
adorable.
good, Leslie.
Wow.
Evie just learning.
gonna go left.
Okay, this is it. This is the super cute one. Good job on this, Uni.
Oh my god, Uni! What the fuck?
Evie reading all the fanfics about
Oh no,
FNAF.
fuck you.
And
Fuck
then
you.
Potion comes in.
Don't look at
Fuck
it.
you.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it.
Potion comes in and just
QTV
ruins
reads
it.
FNAF.
God
Wait,
damn
I gotta
it.
save that. That's really good.
I'm saving it
Except the
too.
fanfic one.
These are all so cute, except for the derailment of Potion, which always happens. But
Listen.
you know,
Yeah.
Oh,
It
what do you
literally-
mean?
It literally
Exactly
is.
the cute picture. So
all right. Next, got
Ferret
Josh.
working at a desk.
All right.
Oh, I fucking love this one. That was actually my favorite prompt.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I made
This is what I was
Firefox on
looking
accident.
A
for.
ferret escaping a suitcase while a firefox look.
Oh, no! Stop with the Firefox. You got Firefox. God
Aw.
damn it.
So
Ferret jumping out.
Yeah.
Aw,
that's so
that's so cute, Uni.
Kawaii Nico de tilde.
Why? Why you gotta do that?
couldn't think of the prompt, so I thought of a random thing that came to my mind, and I absolutely adore ferrets. I love them.
Uni, that's so fucking cute.
My sister actually wants a pet ferret.
I want
I
one
had a
so
ferret.
bad,
Ferrets
'cause
are
it-
so fun.
They're little
They're
noodles.
adorable.
They're cute.
Little
They're so
noodle
cute.
boys.
They are assholes, though. I will plainly say that. They pushed all my painting supplies onto my floor.
Don't do that.
Potion realizes
All the
he's
really.
sus.
Oh.
This is the fucking one.
I see. I love this.
No, I ain't doing this.
This is the one. Why you gotta do this?
A kid refusing to clean for his mum.
God damn it.
I enjoyed drawing that. I'm not gonna lie.
Mom
Oh,
yelling
it
at
hurt me
kid
inside.
doing yoga to take out the trash.
Doing yoga. Oh my.
I thought that was the
Hold
legs.
on.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Hold
And then
on.
the corner of the room was the arms, but now I see that it's a
Crossing
room,
arms, yeah.
Hold
and
on.
he's crossing arms.
I gotta screen cap this because I don't want to like save the whole thing, but like I want to just like screen cap this.
Oh, it's fucking Gwen.
Oh god.
But it looks like yoga, and I'm like,
Potion sus.
But then
Okay.
I also,
Next.
again, I did realize that there was an
Sonic, but he ate too many onion rings.
Okay, so
Aww.
Yes!
Why is that adorable?
Yes!
Sonic full from too much onion rings.
You see how it
Second
mixed
joke.
up my words?
Onion
I'm so sorry.
rings.
Oh, listen, you got it anyway.
no more.
Sonic
I wish I
refuses
got
to
my
collect
monochrome. I would've
rings.
drawn this shit so fucking
Sonic
hard.
refuses to collect rings.
No.
Sonic quit his job collecting.
Quit his job collecting.
What?
I didn't get to write ring.
Business.
I didn't have time.
He just said no.
You like my drawing potion? You like it?
Yeah. Perfect, actually. Yeah.
Wait, you can just write. Oh my god, you can just right click a single picture to
Hold on,
save.
you know what? It's so
Fuck,
perfect. It's gonna
dude.
be my wallpaper.
Thank you, Yene. Apparently you can just right click a picture to save it.
Oh, I know. I did that to make it my wallpaper.
Wait, mine?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll take a.
I want to see a screenshot.
Corn farming in a cornfield.
Wait, did it save? Wait, where did it save?
Oh my god, that's adorable, Yene. What the
You're so
fuck?
good at this.
A farmer, except the farmer is corn and is farming its own.
Oh no. Oh, let's see. God. I'm farming you, bitches.
Hillbilly corn farmer farming itself.
Yeah, I know where this fucking led to. Oh my god, I'm completely off. Josh, no, Josh.
Fisherman fishing fisherman.
What? What on earth? That was hilarious.
I'm glad it didn't go in the direction I thought it was going.
Oh my god, that's adorable though. What the
Because
fuck?
I would have taken that a wrong way.
It went from from corn to an actual person.
Corn farming corn to people farming people. Let's go.
I misunderstood the assignment. That's all I gotta
Anime
say.
Shrek.
Oh
hell yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Kawaii.
That's where this came from.
Kawaii as fuck.
Shrek as a cute kid. 3.
God damn it! I only sketched this one. I said fuck it. I couldn't remember what he looked like.
Potion! This is the one I loved so much. It's
Baby Shrek.
I couldn't remember what Shrek even looked like.
Leslie, get out of my swamp.
Listen, Linda, listen. Listen, you understand?
Listen, Linda.
I almost
Listen.
spit out my water.
Baby Shrek.
Baby
Yeah, shredding, yeah. Hang loose.
Why? Get out of me, swamp.
A snake is eating a mouse, but what's the ominous shadow?
Oh.
I don't know
That's what
what's
this
the
is.
topic.
Oh.
I ran out of time so fucking
Snake
hard.
crawling into a black hole.
That's good.
Whoa.
Snake slithering into a hole.
Whoa.
I got that one.
You guys put me to shame with the...
A caterpillar in a very
real.
detailed, well-drawn background.
What the hell?
It wasn't supposed to be a caterpillar. I was trying to draw the belly, but there's no like yellow that isn't yellow. You know, there's no pill.
I love the description though.
Potion.
I love
So
the
good.
description.
Potion. Can't
Rookie,
you make
thank you
your
for the
custom
host.
colors though?
Oh my god.
Wait, is there custom colors in this?
Yeah, you can customize
Yeah.
colors.
Wait, what?
I mean, I knew
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you just hit the the I almost said triangle, the rectangle.
Yeah.
Also,
Fantasia doesn't know shapes. Confirmed.
confirmed. Potion. Gwen says that you're drawing. Wait, no, never mind. Uni says that that their drawing in Potion's album was amazing. Never mind, I misread it. Ignore all that. It wasn't for you. Fuck. Inkjet cartridge, hell yeah! Thank you for the follow.
Thank you so.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna do animation and then we're gonna do knockout. Oh, I like the little pet. That's so cute. You miss me, but you have a great stream. Oh my gosh, you're gonna go to bed. Have a great stream or great stream. I was like great stream. Have a great sleep.
Have a great
stream.
You did say it.
You know what? I stopped myself. Have a great sleep. Have a great sleep. Thank you for stopping by, Roki. I appreciate you. Inkjet, yes, you can join. Alex just put in the Discord link. If you go into the Discord in the game codes tab, the link is right there. Hop in and say hello. Britt, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you.
I just want to say, have a great stream and get all the scubs.
Get all your scubs. All the
Get all your
scubs.
And garlic.
I hope you start feeling better, Britt. That sucks. Didn't you say that you... I can't remember if you said that you got COVID. I feel like you said that. I can't remember.
Yeah, Potion, you weren't talented.
The pencil black and white drawing of Shrek was exceptional. Yeah, right? That was so good.
Twas indeed.
Terry, yes, anybody can join. Just join the Discord. Anybody can join from the Discord link. It's in the Game Codes channel.
Yo, Terry's joining.
Terry, and Terry, you can join voice if you want to, dude. I trust you. You can join the voice.
Oh, it's a bad idea. I trust him.
Nah, he's a homie.
Terry, when you get in here, scream as loud as you can. I mean, I didn't say anything for him to do. What do you mean? I wouldn't do that.
How much more campaigning do I need to do to remove Potion from office?
Oh no!
Terry, I want you to sound like a school bell alarm.
Severe sinus infection. Okay, gotcha. I don't know why for some reason I thought that you said you had COVID, but I hope you feel better soon because like sinus infections are definitely not fun in the slightest.
I didn't hear you. What, Josh?
But I hope you feel better soon, Britt. Get lots of rest. Drink like a liquid. Lots of liquids.
So that may have posed some problems if you're trying to get him to scream as loud as he can.
Yeah, Terry, if you want to join voices, join any of the voice channels. I'll drag you in.
I think.
And also for those of you who are new, feel free to join a voice channel in my Discord if you guys want to talk amongst yourselves. I just won't have you on the voice channel for stream until I know you a bit more, just for safety reasons.
Sussy guy.
Your drawings are amazing.
Potion's a sussy boy.
Hey, Potion. Uni says that your drawings are amazing.
Oh, thank you, Uni. They're not, but thank you.
Speaking of which, Potion drew most of my artwork for my channel, and he also drew some of the merch, and Leslie drew some of the merch. So, funny fact there.
Nice, guys.
I also drew I finally gave in and fucking did a pose challenge, and I'm never doing it again.
He drew all those emotes, too.
And then you could see the pose he did on Twitter, you know.
Wait, what?
Do not promote that.
Wait, the what on Twitter?
You can go look.
No.
Oh, I saw that.
Don't do it.
When I was gone, I saw that. I was like, oh. Alright.
Yeah. It was a drawing challenge that's up right now. Just, yeah.
I saw Potion one, but it was of a big chungus.
It was a big what?
Chungus. Bugs Bunny.
Big Chungus.
Oh no. Oh no.
I thought Big Chungus was gone.
I also
didn't think people would still draw him.
Thanos.
Don't send that one to me, please.
Send that one to you, please.
So maybe
Potion,
3
what are we
hours last night
kidding?
because
You
of your
already
facial
have it
pain from the
saved
science.
in your
Oh
I
no,
do.
Britt, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
I actually have 18 of them saved.
I hope you feel better soon.
So again, when can we vote potion?
Just because I have 18
man.
Thanos saved.
We
Y'all
don't
are
need to vote
insane.
potion out though, because I would actually, who would we call sus and pick on? Like,
Exactly.
No, he can
Or
like
you could
stick
just start
around,
doing
but
it
like
like
remove him
Yellows.
from office, you know.
Or you could
We're
just start
starting
doing it
now, by
like
the way.
Yellows. It scared the fuck out of me.
Did it?
Yeah, I didn't look
Wait.
back.
Oh no.
create the animations first, John. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't. Oh, there's a timer for this one. Oh fuck. I don't do well with just that. Fuck.
Got this. I don't got this.
Okay. I think I can.
Well, I don't. I guess I'm done.
Oh, I can't fill? There's no fill? Excuse me? There's no fill?
Animation. You don't like. I mean, you can fill in animations. I wouldn't.
Oh.
Potion.
What's up?
No wonder why you want to animate for like Disney. This is super easy. If all you gotta do is this.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
This is all it is. You're right, Josh.
It's crazy things. This is how they made some of their best films.
It is, isn't it?
Using
That's really
garlic
crazy.
phone.
Garlic phone.
See, I didn't realize, but now I see the watermark of the garlic phone logo in the background in all the movies that I watched.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh my
That's
gosh.
insane. Big brain.
Wow.
Oh, I am out of time. Oh my god, I am out of time.
I suck balls at this, you know? Just so bad. Just so bad.
Yeah, I'm screwed. I'm completely out of time.
Like 2 seconds left.
Let's
I just want to
go.
delete this and just sketch it all. Oh no.
Oh
No
no.
sketching.
I can't do it in time. No.
We already did the sketching phase of it.
Oh, Britt, I can
process.
only imagine what you're going through working while that sick. Make sure you get lots of rest though. Don't push yourself too hard.
So what movie are we working on making? Is this the new Disney Frozen 3?
Frozen 8. Fuck! I
Not
ran out of
Frozen.
time completely.
Oh,
What
my
the
lantern.
fuck is this?
How am I
Excuse
gonna
me?
draw
To
this?
continue on my drawing.
Excuse me. Excuse me?
Oh,
Well, I
okay.
guess.
wait,
Excuse
wait, wait.
I can
me.
do this.
So
Hey, you drawers
Hey.
out there, you should not actually
you
be
should
like
really
good
not,
at
'cause-
this.
Well, good thing, Santasia, is they give the onion layer thingy, so it can
Onion
actually-
layer.
That's
That's
what they're
actually the
called.
name of it. Yeah.
Wait, oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah, onion layers.
so that you can animate. That's how. But they give those so we can like trace. Which I'm not gonna be able to do this in time because somebody decided to draw a full-fledged character.
I'm so sorry for whoever got mine. I panicked and I wanted to resketch it. So they're gonna have to continue off of this.
Oh no.
Yeah,
This
they
is
won't be
so
able to
bad.
do this.
God, yeah. I didn't think about doing this with actual artists. Y'all, heck.
If we play this one again, can we have the standard of like keeping it simple?
Yeah.
I'm not even done.
Don't worry, you still got like half the time.
I'm so sorry to whoever made this beautiful drawing, and I'm just making it
Right?
tough.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, I'm done. I'm done.
Oh no! Fuck the time. I completely forgot there was time. Oh
done.
man, I am not gonna make this.
Holy heck. Heck.
I feel like a real artist though. I'm doing really good because I'm tracing. Real good drawing. Oh wait, I'm not done. Shoot.
2 seconds.
I don't really have time at it, so.
No!
Gonna continue this animation from this drawing.
Mine is
Wait.
screwed.
Wait. Okay. Okay. There's gonna come a time where, like, I don't know how to continue it, you know? Oh man, what is this? Hit. Okay, okay.
For me, maybe I should keep it like near how everyone else is drawing. I keep wanting to refine my stuff, but that's just not how it's supposed to be done, I don't think.
No, probably not.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Potion you tried to stick with the original style of the.
Nah.
I hope this is the right color.
Yeah, no Potion. That's work.
I also don't know what this is supposed to be.
So when I do animations, I usually use a stabilizer. My hands are very shaky. So it's gonna be weird seeing like the frame shift ever so slightly. I also don't use my mouse.
Hear me out. This is a warm-up game.
We're gonna be doing knockoff after this, so.
Damn. All right.
I'm sorry.
All right. We got this. I think we're good. I think we got this. I think this is gonna go okay. I think it's gonna go okay.
Forgot about the loaf, toasty posy.
Oh no, I forgot literally about the thing in the middle. Fuck. I wanted to do a swing, but that's not gonna happen in this.
Oh, I think I found Leslie's original drawing.
Oh my god. Why is this coming back? Oh god. Okay.
Hi. Okay. I don't know what those dots are supposed to be. Heck.
I did it, kind of. You guys are so good at drawing, and then there's me.
Oh man.
You're doing good, Josh.
Well, one, I don't have my drawing tablet.
I'm excited to see these, honestly.
I am not. I feel bad for everyone that's had to draw over mine so far.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I've already have.
Because I have panicked so many times now.
I just I traced yours, or well, whoever it was. Pretty sure it was Potion, so. And I just made one small minor detail because I'm like, if I change it too much, it'll just turn out really terrible.
Okay.
Also, whoever drew this, I want to rechange that mushroom so bad. I've drawn so many mushrooms in my life that I am just like constantly on one mushroom set in my head. And it's like always where they have the down pillars or the bottom of the cap for the mushroom. I love drawing those bits, and this doesn't have it. And it's making me really want to fucking put it on there.
Do it!
Like, no. I already fucked up so many of the drawings.
Hey, once it's got to you, it's your drawing now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, maybe 5 more rounds. 5 more rounds
Oh
of
my
I'm not
God.
knowing what to do.
I can't do this.
I'm terrified to get any of them.
But Leslie, you're an artist. You can at least do it.
Josh. You've seen my emotes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen what I've created in this game? Not the
Oh
same.
gosh.
Not the same.
How do I continue this? Wait, what?
Oh my God, that's so cute. What the fuck?
How do I draw this? What even is this? I'm so confused.
Oh, fuck. You know, I just thought about what I wanted to actually start off with. I was going to do Sonic rolling into a ball at first, but then I tried to resketch it. But now that I think about it, fuck. You guys remember back in the day where they had stick animations?
Yeah.
God, I just want to I want to do a stick animation. I fucking love those back in the day.
Do it.
Like when I was a kid.
Do one.
It's too late. I had to start over from the beginning. Like from
Oh
the
no,
first
not
time.
for this. I mean, like just in general, do one.
I mean, I could, but I'd rather continue the animations I'm already doing.
Potion.
No, I mean like
Yeah.
outside of this.
No, I mean continue the ones I'm already working on. I already have
Oh.
like 5 in progress.
Oh, really? I want
Yeah.
to see them.
I don't know if you're familiar with the
Not even
YouTuber
close to done.
Jazza.
Yeah, I know Jazza. I don't really watch him much, but I know of him.
He did a stick animation using PowerPoint.
PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
People
I
used to
made-
do that back in the day too.
Thank you for the
That's why I remember it.
liquid.
I made a game using Google Docs before.
What am I drawing?
I have to hold my mouse with
What is
2 hands just to make it steady.
What is?
Heck, all I did was just change like the facial expression. Oh man. Oh man, I don't even know what to do.
Oh no. Okay, I need to quickly hurry because it's not working.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5. 1.
No, don't say that.
Oh my god.
Oh my Lanta.
Teachers, when they want you to do something. 1.5, 1 1/3, like they just keep going on.
Me though.
Let me just point something real quick, guys. Look
One
at
of my
the
favorite
level.
songs came on my playlist.
It's Teehee funny number.
Nonetheless.
This ain't even intense as the first one I saw, but it's still like very impressive for some reason.
I don't know why, but I genuinely heard you say Nintendo. Don't know why.
Nintendo, play your games and we'll see ya.
Okay, Nintendo, please stop. Don't hurt me.
Remember when they were doing that?
I know. They're still doing it.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Give us money and we'll see ya.
Yup.
You play our games? Well, guess what? We take your money. You like Mario? We like your bank account. Trade?
Trade?
Question mark. Ooh.
You like Mario? You'll love our lawyers. Just say it.
He's basically Mario. Just look at him. His name's Ted, though.
His name's
Ted. what happened to poor Ted? Why is he such an
Ted,
angry
he was a lawyer.
person?
Oh, he
Ted's angry. Poor guy.
Yeah, an angry lawyer person.
He was playing Super Nintendo at around the age of 10, and then he got sued.
Well, damn.
By Mr. Mario himself.
So he meant to become a lawyer to sue Nintendo back, but he ended up working for them by accident.
His character arc wouldn't let it happen.
He thought he was working for the company Among Us.
Oh no. So search. Oh yeah. Search up what Redbubble has and ways of keychains. What the fuck is this? Alright, who drew somebody shitting themselves?
Oh dear.
What? What the fuck?
Good job, whoever did it.
Oh my god, dude. I was not expecting to hear that.
Help.
The stuff you guys draw, silly guys, silly people. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Potion.
What's up?
Are you in Among Us?
Sussy Baka.
Yep, you are.
Sorry.
You smell like a baka. Eren Yeager.
You guys made me mess up my drawing. And it was all one continuous line, so I have to restart part of it. This looks very bad. Like, in the sense of... That should not...
Not entirely sure what this one was, so I'm just doing my own thing.
Dude, that's me for like half of these.
That's you for half of these sets? Me for like the entire game. I don't even know what I drew in the beginning, honestly. I forgot.
God, the Eren Yeager thing has been stuck in my head like for days.
You're welcome.
It wasn't just from you. It's like all over TikTok now. But yeah, that dog one definitely started it. You smell like a baka. Eren Yeager.
What? So what is that like? Because like I've seen the TikToks about it, but like where's it originate from?
I have no clue, dude.
No idea.
Oh man, what even is this?
Oh my Lancer, what is this?
Okay. So
Speaking on TikToks, one day I plan on it. I'm gonna dump the cutest TikTok I saved in my phone onto your Discord sanitizer.
do it.
I have like so many, and they're all just so adorable.
Do it, do it, do it. Also, whoever's like doing all the shading stuff, y'all, damn.
Just stop.
Please. Y'all are just doing a
is all I
lot.
really have.
Y'all are doing so much.
Y'all are doing
Shading's all I have in this.
Y'all are
Let me
doing so
have it.
much for such a little game. Boom, bum, boom.
Oh, no, that's too
bum,
big.
boom. Boop, boop, boop. Oh no, I'm still on the eraser. Oh, dang it.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
I'm getting too lazy to actually make this perfect as I can anymore.
Same.
I'm just like...
God, that probably went like too fast for in the animation sequence, but like I'm okay with that.
God, I wish we had more time.
Zoom. Zoom zoom.
Like I don't think I even added half the things.
Zoom zoom
Like I
zoom.
need to add.
Wait,
crap.
like what?
Time is almost up.
Oh no, yeah, I'm not adding that in. Fuck. Can I add in a cool little thing before?
No, not at all.
Damn, you might be right. Fuck. No.
Got him.
Oh, damn it. Is this the anime girl? Fuck.
No, I got the one Sid she was talking about.
The poop one?
Absolutely can't, dude. And I'm
Who?
about to make it a whole lot cursed.
Who
So
the
you're
fuck
welcome.
drew a perfect circle?
You use the circle tool.
Oh, that's not grayed out. Okay, cool. Like half this stuff is grayed out for me.
Yeah. I'm sorry for making this such a curse.
Well, I just realized I was using full opacity. No, no, no. No opacity here.
Bruh.
Oh, fuck. There is no... Okay. I keep trying to hit Control Z as much as possible.
Why?
Control Z, you undo.
Yeah, undo.
I know it's undo, but like... Why?
I want to undo what I did. What?
I'm so sorry I'm making this so
Run.
curse.
Oh god damn it! Is it Alex? It was Alex! Alex, why?
What did Alex?
Thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Also, I don't know if I did the meow, but meow. Meow.
Fuck, time's
Bam,
mechanic.
bam, 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 bam.
Is that what Alex
I
did?
love
No,
that
he
crab
didn't.
Oh, he did.
song.
You like what?
The little crab rave.
Oh my god, right?
I swear, I love it.
So good.
Got to add hair to the.
Eren Yeager.
Oh, I'm making this so good. Not
They
even like a
do
real
make
line of animation.
keychains. You smell like
So wait, are you
a
gonna have just like a separate
Eren Yeager.
red bubble store for a keychain?
Dude, I'm only making it for myself unless everybody else wants it.
Fuck. No! Shit! Okay, I hate the time. I hate
Alright,
time.
y'all ready? Y'all ready? Yeah, you ain't ready.
Why do
Let's
we
see
even
these
need clocks?
nightmares. Oh gosh.
I think I'm ready.
Alright, let's go.
It's gonna be
We
great.
skip all of these and we just move on to the next one. How about
My
let's do
album. This isn't mine, apparently. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Bird.
that. Oh, I feel so
I saw
bad.
this one.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, okay.
I didn't
Oh
add half the
no!
shit.
Terry!
I didn't add
Terry, no! Oh, poor bird.
How did it get the blue eye again? It came back to the blue eye.
I forgot the tree.
Oh my god, Quilby!
Among Us.
Oh, that looks cool though.
Turn into Among Us at the end. Transform.
Oh man, hold on guys, I'll be right back. Guys! Quilby! How was
Terry
Quilby, how was your stream? We're just playing a little bit of a...
Beautiful.
We're just playing a little bit of Gartic Phone. Also, if you
'cause you kept
see
singing
something in chat that says like that your message was deleted and that you need to put in a
Go
captcha,
get someone electric.
this is our new bot that KKK Live made to combat the hate raids. So if you see that, delete your message and ask you to put in like a string of things.
I like
Just
how the
put that
tree
in
got
and you'll be
colored
able to
Among Us.
talk.
Oh no.
This is just put in place in case like somebody comes in spamming a bunch of hateful stuff at us, and then that way they can't even get past the bot. You know, it times them out
it
and makes
goes so
them go
fast
away.
you don't notice the missing tree.
So
in one of the
yeah, we're testing it out today.
No, you definitely
Alex is testing it out on my stream today, so yeah, it actually it worked really well.
He fell down the tree.
You need to add a whitelist command. That might be a good idea. Yeah. Anyways, hope your stream went well, Quilpy. Casey Star is here too with the raid. Oh my gosh, Casey, hi. How you doing, Casey? And LaRuse, hi LaRuse. And Tanya, and Vampo, and Jumna, and Philly Cheesy Steaky. Lisa, Pure Strider.
That was interesting.
Christina, Colts dude. Oh my god.
I
you guys are
had to do an animation
amazing.
before,
How are y'all
but,
doing?
It was within a charcoal drawing, so I had to draw the entire thing and then take a picture, erase, and draw something else. Take a picture and erase and draw. Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Oh man, I miss you too, LaRuse. I had a really good week away.
That sounds cool.
Yeah,
though.
yes, all my friends Quilpy. I'm glad to hear it was a great stream. Did you like the new game?
So long.
And yes, if any of you guys want to play,
okay, go ahead.
call you Hop. Okay, I'll call you Hop. Jungle Jumpers is Hop. Hop. Okay.
Oh my god, the process is so slow.
Yes, if you want to play, join in the Discord. In the Discord, there's going to be a link. There's going to be a channel that says Game Codes.
Pretty cool, though.
And just hit the link on there, and you could join us.
I wish I had the patience for it.
Only people that I have known for a little bit can join voice on stream, but if you guys want to join your own voice channel in there and talk amongst each other, that's great too.
And it's
probably not a super exciting stream, but you'll be playing off stream for sure. But you liked it? I'm glad that you liked it.
I used the program.
I'm so glad that you liked it. Yes, Philly Cheese Sticky, I know you from Goose Goose Duck. I also just know you in general from Quilpy stream.
Actually, what?
Yeah, LaRuse, you can definitely join the voice chat for sure. We're about to start a new one. We're just going through all the animations that we just finished right now because it's a new game mode that I haven't played yet. But yes, Vampo, Honey Ducky is one of my closest Twitch friends on here. Like, an amazing person and an amazing artist, musical artist. So if you want to go listen to Ducky's awesome music, there's her Spotify link. I also play at the beginning and end of my streams and like whenever we do some filler music. So amazing musician.
How much?
You'll join in the next round? Yeah. We're gonna continue looking through all these animations that we completed because they're so funny. But I hope you guys enjoy.
I mean,
again, Quilpy, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you. And Alex, thank you for doing mod stuff.
You know it's funny? I just looked
appreciate
up at,
you. All of
stream
you.
And that poor bird. In a constant loop.
If anybody wants to join, go ahead and make sure you join in the Discord, and then I will. I'll let you know when the next game starts up.
See the download GIF.
Okay.
No, I know you can do that, but like I can't.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Hi.
And yes, Hop, you're in. You are definitely in. Okay, I'm going
at
to.
animation softwares.
I'm gonna keep going through the animations. Y'all ready?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I happened in my panic and erased it all, and I'm like, oh no, I had to put something.
It's okay.
Nope, you'll see why. It's not okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that's where this came from. Well, guess who also forgot
Who's trying to fold laundry? I'm glad I could be background noise for your laundry folding, Casey.
I love how I didn't even draw the alien at first. It just randomly appeared into frame.
I didn't even draw the clouds.
Oh man. Jesus! Why are you so extra?
Yo, potion sweats on everybody, let me tell you.
I totally scuffed this. I scuffed it.
It looks like he's just zooming back and forth. He goes
okay,
zooming.
thank God. There's no Among Us in it.
Wait, I just want to know, why did he it flies back towards the planet that wasn't even there?
That's so
Wait,
cute,
why did it go from green to black?
That's so cute.
It was totally and now it's like a stick figure.
It was like an actual alien and not just like somebody completely different. It's a different UFO.
I like
was
it.
actually gonna put the alien in there, but I was gonna put like a silhouette of the alien, so just like tinge of green there. But I ran out of fucking time. I hate time.
Oh man, yeah, Quilby, please go take care of yourself. Get water, get food, go rest. Take care of yourself, please. And especially after a stream and a long week and the day that you had. I know. We love you, Quilby.
That's all I'm saying.
Love you. Sending you lots of love and hugs. Have a good night, Quilby. So the ship is spinning when it turns. It kind of is. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hop is a horrible drawer. Santasia's a horrible drawer too. It's okay. Okay. Next one.
And why is one frame it looks like there's like a cross in there? I was like,
Maybe that was. Oh, at the bottom left.
yeah, you
I think.
see it?
Yeah, I think that's supposed to be like it going like zooming, like hyperspeed. Zoom.
Ah, okay.
All right. Sus.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I forgot something on here, but I did this one on purpose. See you.
Jesus, Inkjet.
Oh, that is so nice.
Wow, kawaii.
Ha! Got rid of it.
Kawaii.
Now what you gonna do?
That is hilarious.
Get wrecked. Wait, oh, I made a bomb. Oh no.
Adding it on.
You thought you did something there.
Oh, this is cute. This is so cute. Kawaii. Kawaii.
It's not even like a real. I love how it's not even a real animation. It's just all of us doing our own.
But it works so well.
Yeah. it looks
No,
like it's
notice
exploding.
notice how you can't see the potion without the sus.
Got him.
Listen, it's because it's what am I the second frame? I'm the third. That's why, okay? Third frame, it doesn't.
Oh
Please don't go to
man.
mine. Mine's literally a panic. No one's gonna draw anything. No, you can skip over, right?
Nah. Oh.
I told you I panicked and you were trying to sketch it time.
Sonic without a
No, this is
Oh no, is this the Sonic shitty that you were talking about?
Oh, fuck!
Yes.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, I see where it went left. I see now.
Oh no!
Wait, can I just apologize in advance for what I have done?
Steven's heard of the Sonic video.
I'm crying.
Fucking grew a nose.
Oh no.
Oh no!
It looks like he had a straw at the end and just go to town.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Oh,
I see it.
Oh my
no.
god. I can't.
I'm about to draw.
Oh no! Poor Sonic.
Sonic, my boy, what have they done to you?
They turned him into a real boy.
No, that's not a good one. It's a fucking.
And then a disturbed boy.
Well, now we know what Sonic.
Oh, Punchy, I thought this might have been yours.
So you did add the end. You added the bottom to it, and then that one had the bottom. Why the other one not have
Wait.
bottom? No.
That's really
Damn
good
it.
though.
Damn it.
Did I get this one?
Oh.
I don't remember this.
Oh shit! I just realized I could have turned that into Homer.
Oh no! No!
Let me go back. Let me go back and edit it. Let me go back.
Let me go back.
Wait, what?
Nice. That reminds me of when Squidward took a bite of the Krabby Patty.
What is that?
I started melting. Oh, you're charging him up. Holy fuck.
Oh man!
I thought it was some kind of like science experiment coming together.
Most importantly, why does it work?
I didn't.
Why
It
does
does.
it?
It
I
does.
didn't see that it was like a face.
The mushroom
That's
made
amazing.
them dissolve.
We did great.
my
That was awesome.
Could have been fucking Homer. We could have done fucking Homer.
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna be angry about this all night. I'm gonna be thinking about this when I go to fucking bed. Like how much it could have been fucking Homer.
You'll think about that for the next 20 years, Potion.
It's true.
You'll be lying awake at 3 a.m.
I didn't know what this was.
Oh.
Anime.
Anime.
Anime. I ran out of
Oh.
time.
Animu.
Yeah, I ran out of time.
It's okay, Uni. It's okay.
Started melting.
Aw.
Started melting.
Aw. Oh, thank you, Ink Cartridge. Ink Cartridge saved it. They saved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, they saved it.
Yeah, we'll see if they did.
Oh no, what did you do to a potion?
Uh,
Oh no, Terry. Oh no.
Terry.
Oh no. Wait.
I was so fucking close. I couldn't finish it in time. It ran completely on time. Ah.
Oh, that one.
That's so good though. Uni, it turned out good. Don't
I'm
worry.
gonna be honest, Potion, you derailed it again with a totally different art style.
Oh man.
Listen.
So Casey, this version of this game, like this game mode, you start out with one person drawing like something random, and then this is an animation one. So each person that gets that same drawing has to add the next like page to it. So if you look up here, like Uni started this one with this cute little anime girl. Looks like they're like holding a flower or like a clover or something. And then the next person has to draw the next frame, and then so on and so forth. And then when you get down to like the very last person, it just makes like this little animation.
Oh no.
So, Tasha, I love your.
Like how the Among Us character pops in from time to time.
I know. It's so
So
good.
I just
ran
wanna
out of
say,
time.
I love that. I love how you just see this like the glimpse of the like blue-eyed girl at the end, just randomly.
Oh, so Uni drew a boy OC. Okay. And then Potion drew an anime girl.
Genuinely, that kind of looks like art style I know from someone from like back in the day. I had a friend that drew like that.
When in doubt, get sus. Heck yeah, Vampo. Alright. Oh, is this jump rope?
Wait. Oh, I know what this is.
Is this
no.
jump rope?
How did we go from this?
Yeah, no, I know.
What?
How does this?
I don't remember this.
You don't remember this because I derailed it like insane.
Oh no. Oh no, Josh. No, what did you do?
I thought they were dropping like a
Couldn't figure out
kayak.
what the fuck that was. Think about my perspective. That's the last image I see. I'm like, okay, just pull.
Wait, oh. Okay, I get it.
What I remember. There we go. That's exactly what I remember.
I thought it was like a kayak and they were holding it, and I'm like, oh, drops it on the,
It's like two different animations.
It kind of looks like they took like a rug, put it over her, and threw her into a pool or something at first.
Oh no!
Yeet.
That's so bad.
To be fair, though.
Oh man.
I'm like, oh, kayak, drop it on the person. Tee funny.
Kayak.
Yene says it's the worst the jump rope has ever done.
Yeah.
Heck.
That's one heavy jump rope. Holy
obliterated.
The jump rope is just like
her into the pool.
Yeah, it just fucking crushed her and just like what if it turned her into the pool?
It's a new trap.
Oh, it makes sense.
Alex, thank you for doing that.
Wait, I gotta go do some restroom.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Wait, how did this turn into a slide?
I remember this.
Wait, how did this turn into what it actually turned into?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how. Okay, got it. Aww.
I like that. It's so cute.
Aww.
I thought it was an axolotl.
Oh, why is it so cute? It's actually
Josh,
okay.
don't do anything to this. Okay.
It's actually gonna be like super cute, I think.
Genuinely was scared like a bus was just gonna come, just take them out.
Oh, it does a little happy wiggle at the end. That's so cute.
It kind of works. Okay.
Vampo says when you jump rope with steel cables.
When you jump
She
rope
also
with
lost
the
her
kayak.
hair. I forgot about that.
The hair. What?
That includes the time that the jump ropers got Thanos snapped. At least the snap was a clean animation. Wait, Yune, if you have that downloaded, you should definitely post that in the Discord because I would heckin' love to see that. Oh god. Okay, here we go. What is this? Terry, what was this?
I couldn't
Please,
figure out what
Terry.
this was. I
Terry,
really genuinely
please.
could not figure it. Please tell us.
This is some guy like kicking the fuck out of a kid with a lollipop because that's what I got.
It's as easy as stealing candy from a baby.
I did not know what it was.
That's where potion got from.
Oh man.
The dude in the air is never getting to the face.
Oh,
that
oh
one left. That was
no,
the
let's
wall.
see. Oh yeah, no, good. Oh
You
no.
had to add the blushes.
I love how the guy who's getting like kicked turns into an FBI agent.
It's Men in Black. It's Men in Black.
Alright.
You'll steal my candy.
Oh, that was fun.
No, I wanted to say.
I have it. I can send it to you. I saved it.
That
Do you want me to
was
send
great.
it?
Yeah.
Okay. That was so good.
Amazing.
So heckin' good. Okay. There's Lessie. And there's the GIF. Why is it so good?
Oh, next time we play this, we gotta try movie.
Movie? Yeah. So, okay, we're gonna do one more round, and we're gonna do knockoff this time. So this one, you have to replicate the drawings while the clock gets faster, so it's like heckin' chaotic sounding. So if y'all wanna play, now's your last chance to jump in. You gotta stay out of Discord for now, but you play with us. Okay, thank you, LaRouge. Can't wait to see your drawings. But if anybody else wants to jump in, go ahead and join the Discord and hop in that game codes channel and get the link. Yeah. I don't want to see that. I do want to see that, LaRouge. I do want to see.
Oh, so this is just creating the drawing, right? Okay.
What's up?
This is just replicating the drawing.
Yeah. So somebody's gonna like draw something, and then you have to like just replicate it as fast as you can. If you do something, there's no pressure, but you're scared. I know. I'm kind of scared too, honestly. I think I know what I want to start off with for my drawing. Sandwich. Start writing and keep drawing until the end. Finally, describe the last drawing. Oh, it's a secret. If we tell you, you're gonna ruin the joke. Oh. Faster mode with fewer turns. Try it with crowds of 15 or more. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good good option to have. All right. So,
I like
if there's
the option
nobody,
with no time.
what?
I like the options with no time, please.
Bruh. It just wouldn't even be a game at that point.
So,
It's
potion.
okay. Just give me a few hours. It'll be done.
Potion, you
Oh,
mean
man.
speed run?
Okay.
No.
What you like?
Slow. No, slow run. There you go.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start.
Alright.
Let's go. 2, 1. Let's go. Alright, draw a scene. I know what I'm gonna draw.
I know what I'm gonna draw too.
Know what I'm heckin' drawing.
Oh no, shoot. I'm messing up.
Fuck.
This is like the... No, that's not... This is so bad. I am so sorry. Ha. Okay, okay. I need to get rid of that. That went a little haywire. What size I use? I think I use this size. Nope, I did not use that size. Fuck. That works. That works. Aw, it's so cute! Oh, there's a lot more time than I thought there would be.
I'm running out already.
You're running out of time already?
Yeah.
Yo. Oh no. Oh no.
I'm done. Easy. I knew what I wanted going into this, and that's how you get done fast.
That's fair. Alright, I'm done too. Let's go! 3 out of 10 people done.
Oh no.
Oh wait,
Heck yeah.
I'm not done yet. Hold on.
Josh isn't done yet? Hold on.
I was looking at this and it looked off. Alright, now I'm done. Potion, you done there?
Nope.
Better hurry up.
Heckin' hurry. Gotta heckin' hurry.
Run out of time.
Why is the eraser so big?
Oh.
That's what she said.
Listen, it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Listen.
She said that's what. Why is the eraser so big?
You know, I kind of want to keep drawing
That was
some
the one.
more.
That's what I'm doing.
Just gonna make some more details.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying. Bruh. Copy me.
What? What? You said it first.
That looks like it belongs in the battle pass.
No, that's what I'm saying.
What? The battle pass?
Yeah,
Did you guys see the new battle pass? It's
No. I haven't looked at
like-
anything about the new Valorant stuff yet.
I like the porcelain stuff.
sexy. Is that the one that they're saying is a ripoff of a different skin?
Yes, it looks like the
I said it that way because I didn't want to give any ideas.
Yeah.
To Santi.
Yeah, I kind of want to do like, I don't know, I might do like a stream on that Thursday or something. Does it come out on Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. I might do one where like I just like go through all the new stuff.
Yeah. I am filming a reaction before the event. And I'm just gonna play that before the event starts.
Oh, like as a starting soon thing?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do a starting soon, then I'm gonna play the video and then get into the event.
That's gonna be so good.
Oh, I'm so hyped. I'm making all new scenes. And they all look so good.
They do look so good. Like,
Oh, I'm so
actually.
excited. I'm super hyped.
Dude, I'm excited for you.
I went to go to bed today and then saw Zachy streaming the new map, and then I got out of bed and I'm like, I should sleep. But like Valorant.
Oh,
I was
man.
there to like semi-mod, but that was it.
LaRousse?
I was like, I don't want to see too much of it.
I'm sure your drawings are great, LaRousse. Sure,
Wait,
they're
so
great.
Leslie, are you playing the PBE tonight then?
I'm
no?
Unless we all play it, I'm exclusively shooting the thing for the
So, I want to play regular Valorant
Rim. Yeah.
tonight.
I kind of don't want to play the map until
Yeah.
the event.
That's what I was thinking. I kind of just want to play like regular Valorant tonight.
Like I'll go in and explore the
Wait,
nooks and
Casey, you're
crannies so
hoping to
that I can
update your
do
whole
that
stream?
before
Really?
it's time
Oh man.
They actually
That's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
Oh no, there's no onion layer? I had to remember what it was. Oh no.
Oh shoot.
That's the whole point of this. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, I remember it.
No, I hate this. Why?
Yeah?
Well,
Why?
I think,
I may have just clicked past it. Don't mind it. Just gonna show me the onion. No, I knew what I was doing.
I think I'm gonna play PBE for a little bit tonight because the skin pack is cool and I like it.
Oh, Origin?
Yeah.
I was so happy because it's such a recent skin.
It
Like,
is. It's very recent for the
it-
PBE. That's why I was shocked.
It's not too. Yeah.
I don't know how this is gonna go. Hope.
But yeah, that's why I might play. But again, I don't really want to because people just get mad when you actually play the game in like deathmatch because they want to explore the map.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think this looks anything like it. Oh no. Oh no.
Understandable, but like also play the game, please.
Yeah, that's fair. Drop a 40 bomb in power, please. Only for you, Terry. Only for you. I'll try my hardest. I don't know if I've ever gotten 40. I think I've gotten like
I did too.
31, 32 potentially, but actually I think I have a screenshot of my highest. Hold on.
Here. Fuck.
Hold
I
on.
sort
Hold
of
on.
remember, but whoever's getting this is just getting the
screenshots.
basic color shapes.
Oh, no time.
From
Yeah,
previous.
34 was my highest that I got. So close. But yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the time.
You didn't see my new knife yet, did you?
No, I haven't seen the new knife yet. We're going to
Avo
set up a
bought me the
background and
new
clean up your
butterfly
office so that you can get rid of this green screen. Oh my gosh, Casey, that sounds amazing! That sounds absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see it. That was easy.
No.
Oh man.
A...
I have so many ideas I want to do for my setup
This
too.
was here, kind of. Fuck, I need to go faster.
And yes, Alex, all the artists are panicking.
Yes!
What is this? Okay, hold on.
Why are you guys drawing like actual drawings? Come on.
Right? Like, what the heck is with that?
Something I know. Thank you.
And then there was like... This was here. I think that's what it looked like. And then this boyo was here. I don't remember what color the shirt was. Oh no.
Okay, I'm honestly somehow this turned into a Kid Leroy drawing.
I don't remember what shape the head was.
I don't know.
Let's just go like that. I'm just gonna say that this was it and be done with it. Yeah, that was it. That's it right there. You know, I can memorize pictures and shit, but then when it comes to like doing this, it stays in my brain for a total of 0.3 seconds, and I don't know why. Help.
I'm too lazy to draw this actually out.
Oh man.
Oh my god, it looks so bad, dude. So it's not taking like.
No. Yes.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm
Why
not
does that
putting
look like a
name there.
butt? Who fucking drew a butt?
Okay.
Why?
Something else I know.
Meggles? What the heck, Meggles?
Wait, I have a
I
quick
accidentally turned off my iPad.
Oh my
I accidentally
God.
turned off my iPad.
Oh no.
Fuck.
So
Meggles!
it's just taking the person's first drawing, right? Like it's not like the regular game.
Oh god. What do you mean?
Like you draw something and somebody else gets it and they replicate it, right?
Right, it's just the first one.
Okay.
Oh god, wait. Oh god,
That's
I'm
good
so
to
sorry.
know.
I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed.
Already?
Yeah, it goes faster and faster.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh no. Okay, I'm done. Okay, Meggles, how was your stream? This was your first stream back,
That
right?
looks like a light bulb.
Or you just like came back to streaming recently. I remember that much. How was your stream? Oh my gosh, Meggles. I'm so happy to see you.
No, I don't want that game. I want this. We're taking the easy
Oh my
way out.
gosh.
Done.
How was your stream?
I filled it with the wrong color.
There we
Fuck
go.
me, mate.
Okay. Daedric Wolf, Sapphire Surge, Meggles. Welcome
Why you gotta
in.
do this to me? Listen, we could talk about
Kreis
this time
German?
limit.
Crazy German.
Listen, Linda. Fuck.
Got it. Welcome in, everybody.
Okay.
Oh
this.
god. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Hit. Hit.
Forgot completely how this looks.
There.
Fuck it.
Done. Okay.
We're doing great. We're doing this.
Your second stream back.
No.
It was so good. Oh, I'm so glad that you're. I'm so glad you're back. Oh my gosh, I need to like catch up on your streams.
Okay.
So badly. But I don't know. I've been gone for an entire week.
Yes.
So I haven't actually been on Twitch at all this past week myself. So I'm hoping that now that I'm back, I can start catching more streams, including yours.
Time's up, potion.
Heck. This is getting so stressful. That's the wrong collar. Oh no. Fuck.
No.
You have to keep going, but you have a good rest of your stream. Oh, thank you so much, Casey. I hope you have a good rest of your day / night / whatever it is for you. And thank you so much for stopping by and staying. I appreciate you.
I'm just going for
excited to get back to everything. Except for nice background. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it, Casey.
No, you're
Good
not.
luck with your stream setup, Casey.
Alright,
Meggles is playing. Wait, Meggles, you're playing Resident Evil Village? How do you like it so far? And how far have you gotten?
Because if you were going
how
for
far have you
speed,
gotten?
then you wouldn't have to deal with the time limit.
That's not
Just
how that
saying.
works, Josh.
Yes, because I'm always done in the time frame.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh
I
no.
wonder what this was. I know it's not what it is now.
Hopefully we play some more Valorant together. Yes! So, okay, Leslie is doing an event. Leslie, I'm plugging your event for Wednesday.
Why is that just a blue square?
So Leslie's doing an event on Wednesday. If I don't know, I think she needs more people, but you can ask her if you would like to join. I cannot for like most of it, but
I forgot to start drawing. Shit.
Coming
yeah.
Wednesday,
So she's doing an event with a new map on Wednesday. I want to say
that's my first day
9 Central.
I gotta, like I said,
I can't remember, but yeah.
Oh, man, I'm so glad it's over. I'm so glad it's over.
You're taking L's on now. You'll be sure to let you know when you finish it. Yes, for sure, Casey. You're like RE8. It's your first RE game. Yeah, that was my first one too. And you just got to the factory on your second stream. Jesus, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's really fast.
Yeah, same.
I'm glad that you're liking it. Like, I hate scary games, and like the first bit of that scared me a lot. Like a lot. I almost quit. But I'm glad I stuck through it because it's actually one of my favorite games that I've played recently. Let's see yourself. Okay, good, Meggles.
You
I'm
only
so
had
glad.
like 2 hours to do it.
I'm so glad.
I turned it down. I was like, yeah, I can't do it. They were like, why? I was like, do you expect me to
we
get
are
anything done in 2
That was
hours?
so fucking hectic. I'm sorry you guys came into like a hectic part of the game, but like the timer kept getting shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Time limits suck.
It was so crazy. Slowly converting to spoopy games. No, for real though. Like my stream is slowly converting over to horror, and I'm okay with this.
Take the full time.
Not your second RE stream. It's for
Like, you gotta know.
Is it?
If you give me a time limit,
second stream
I'm gonna
break.
do my
Okay,
best, but
I
I'm
guess
gonna
I just
speed run
assumed that you started it when you came back. That makes more sense.
I'm sitting
That
there
makes
and
a lot
I'm
more
like,
sense.
okay, I don't like that one.
I think it took me like two and a half streams, something like that, to get out of like the first castle.
Everything I do, they're like.
I think it was like 2.5 streams.
Like the entire class.
So yeah, that game was so much fun. I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
You gave us like a 30-page essay to do by the end of a 40-minute period.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Of course it's not gonna be good.
This is gonna be crazy. This is gonna be so crazy. Here it goes. My fish.
I did not get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
no. This got
no.
This was the blue square.
Hops.
This was the blue square.
Hops, what are you doing?
No, wait, this is the water?
You know?
Oh, that's so cute.
That's adorable. What the hell?
So this was the water one. This was the water one.
I'm so confused. Wait,
no,
what?
It does take from people's pictures.
What do you mean it does take from their pictures?
Because I got Leslie's pictures, not yours. See? It went from fish to waves.
Yeah, it's still like telephone.
No, you said it takes from the first
Oh my god, I got yours.
Oh man, I think I misunderstood what you were asking.
Look at this. I was like, I know it's water. I know it's water.
Oh
I
gosh.
can't blame you.
Oh
Fuck,
gosh.
the time limit sucks so bad.
Yeet.
Oh my god.
Oh man. That was funny. That was
good.
so funny. It just devolves into madness. It's okay, Hop. None of us can really draw except for the 3 heckin' artists in chat. Jesus.
Have you seen what I've been drawing? It's not been great.
I was gonna say.
Hold on.
Yes, DNA, I liked yours.
Well,
It's so
Leslie,
cute.
You also use actual art program when you do really draw. This is not a real art program.
Whoa!
What are you saying? I use MS
Oh.
Fuck you.
Oh.
I forgot the black background. I hate that. I hate that I forgot the background.
You did it to us with the background.
I did.
What do you mean? All you gotta do is use a paint bucket tool.
I know, I just forgot to do it.
Leslie saved it. Leslie saved it.
Well, except it. But yes.
What do you mean saved it? Mine looks exactly like Among Us, except the
It looks like you tried.
It started to look like an A. Mine started to look like an A.
Yeah, it kind of does.
A kid.
I had to rush. I saw
Holy
the time.
cow. Yene and
That's good.
Uni. Look at that.
Potion.
Oh, that's so cute.
Wait, it says sus. It went back to the original.
Oh my god, it does say sus. Hell yeah.
So, can I just say one thing, Potion? Yours looks like a kid who tried to watercolor paint Among Us.
Oh, that was really
good. It was a light bulb.
Ah, okay. Okay.
I thought it was the potion bio turned upside down.
Does
No.
Potion do it wrong? Does he derail it?
But the tungsten, but I did, but the tungsten did say sus.
Potion upside
So
down.
Yes, he derailed it.
Oh,
No,
man.
I'm taking the word off. You know I'm going
Oh,
to.
he made a balloon.
You derailed
Heck.
it because I
Good.
drew what you drew.
Oh man.
Potion always derails.
That's good. That's so good.
Yeah.
You know what though? It would have been even better with the word sus still on
It
it.
would.
No, it wasn't.
Oh
I'm
man.
glad I took it off.
How did that? How?
potion.
Go
Yeah, I know. It's all his
potion.
fault.
One word, potion.
It's a whole other color too.
It is.
It is. 'Cause
I almost made it that color, actually.
I did the wrong color too.
Oh
That's where
man.
it started at.
What?
Potion.
Excuse me?
The color changed from the
Freaking
second photo.
Excuse me,
whoa.
Potion? What the fuck?
What's up? I was gonna draw anime at first, but I panicked because I couldn't remember what anime character I wanted to draw.
Oh,
So
you
I
need
drew a
to
man.
I
Or
love
really.
that. I didn't remember the colors. I didn't remember the colors.
There we go.
Aw.
Kissing, yes.
Woo woo face.
I didn't remember how it looked. That was funny.
Oh man, that's so cute. What the hell? Thank you for the
This is
lurk
great.
medals. I hope you have a good night. Take care of yourself, alright?
Fuck, this is
Hey,
good.
wow.
Color changed again.
Wow, not even.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And if you
Well.
turn it upside down, it says mom.
It does. It actually does. You're right. Oh
Wait, does
man.
it really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
Potion, you're
Yo.
joking.
Micro Steve!
Wait, this
no.
is what this
Hold
was
on, purple
originally?
pants. It's not Steve.
Oh,
No, not this time.
Pixel art.
Oh,
This was the one I had literally 1 second on. Oh no.
I love
I
how
remember
it,
this.
I love how it went from like Xbox graphics to the Super Nintendo to like Atari,
This is great.
and it just really.
Oh my god.
What that Sonic doing?
Oh no.
I was gonna add Mario, but I looked at the time and I
This
literally
is where
1
it
second.
came from. Okay,
What even happened here?
I don't know.
I
Color changed completely as well.
He was pointing
No
at a bush.
background.
Oh no.
Oh man.
I love this. Hops equals best dollar confirmed. Yes, yes. Oh no, I'm sorry the delay is so bad for you. Uni, holy
Oh,
heck, is that your
so
OC
good.
again?
Shit, forgot what you look like.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's the one where I didn't remember that, like, I didn't know that I was gonna put an onion skin on. I was like,
You last for one! I'm so sorry, Uni! It didn't even last for one! Fuck.
So, Potion drew that, and I'm like, I don't know what to draw. Draw a derpy guy or something. I don't know. You guys can't just draw like actual drawings with a person who isn't an artist.
I like how my hair got colored.
Well, let me rephrase that.
That's where I ran out of time.
I'm an artist, but I need like.
Uni, that's so good. What the fuck? I'm
That
so
was so
sorry.
good.
I'm so sorry that happened to your boy. Oh man.
You know, I'm sorry, but like also it's Potion's fault. Can we agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
how are you guys agreeing to this?
Whoa, Yune, what the fuck?
Did I get this?
Yeah, I
wrong?
forgot. I forgot.
Holy heck.
I,
That's good though, what?
Is this where I got literally just a blue square on? Please tell me this is not the one I
Oh,
got
no.
only a blue square.
I'm so good. So this is where it came from.
Hey, look, it's a memory card.
I was thinking, I was like,
That's it. That's it. I copied exactly.
I did too.
So did you.
Copied it exactly like that.
It was really easy to remember, huh?
Yeah.
I like how even the SD card didn't make it through.
How did we go from this Harry Potter character
I'm so
to
sorry.
a square and an X?
I'm so sorry. This is so funny though, Hop. That was fucking hilarious.
Poor man. He's like, please don't do this to me. And look what happened.
Oh, I'm dying. I'm fucking dead. That's so good. That was probably the best one, not gonna lie. Wait, what?
Oh, I did not get this.
Okay, so Yoshi.
I did not get
I
this.
didn't
God.
either. Oh no!
I was so happy when I got Yoshi. I'm like, I know Yoshi.
Yo, fuck. Why is it always you? Why are you the one that derails it every time?
I don't do that's Yoshi.
But you do it so impressively. And,
Oh, no! Potion, I blame you. It's all your fault. It's all your fucking fault.
Potion, this
It's
is
still
your
on
fault.
track. It's still a turtle. It's okay. It's okay.
No, this is your fault.
Oh wait, Yoshi's a dinosaur. It's turtle
still a
dinosaur.
turtle.
It's okay.
It's all your fucking fault.
No, it's not. That's a grasshopper.
That's what I got.
Why did it like grow small and then big again?
I was like, what is this? That was a bug.
Look, can I just point everybody's attention topwards, Yoshi?
Yeah.
Up until Potion draws it.
Yeah.
When
No,
that-
that is still Yoshi.
It derails, you know, like
Oh god.
I ran out of time. I couldn't add the other arm.
everybody, like it's
can't.
only up until Potion drew it.
No, it's not.
God
The one
damn it
after still
is.
Yoshi.
Wait, what is this?
I don't
Is that them
remember
watching?
this.
Wait, are they drawing? Wait, no, they're drinking. They're eating.
The thing is,
They're eating at a table. The first one, right?
Oh, this
no,
is
I thought it was painting, right?
I don't remember this prompt.
It was a
I
painting, right?
do. 'Cause whoever
I'm so sorry.
yeah.
I remember this.
Oh
So-
fuck! Is this where?
I then added the
Oh, it is painting. Okay.
Oh no! I know where this goes.
I
Okay,
couldn't
yep.
remember the middle part.
Wait,
Oh.
what? What?
Why did you draw a penis? Why did you try this?
you did though.
Look,
Oh my
Devolve
God.
the madness.
Wait, it's our guy from the animation. Getting yeeted across with the FBI
Oh
man.
fuck! He's back.
Oh yeah.
It
Turns out he
stayed
actually
for
played
so
soccer the
long.
whole time.
It stayed for
Fuck.
so long. God
And then
damn it.
Potion ruined
Potion
it.
Fit the
derailed
fucking
it
yeet in there,
again.
okay? Or the other one.
Oh, I got you, Hop.
I just
I get it.
wanna point the court's attention to our guilty man right here, okay? He
Listen, I
derails
won't.
it. You clearly see he derails it.
Every
rest
single
my
time.
case.
All right, LaRousse.
No.
Oh no, this is what this
Oh, I
was.
knew it. I
This is
knew
what
it
this
was wrong.
Was this the piece of cheese?
Yes,
Oh my fucking god!
Oh,
I
you're
wanted to get
so
cheese.
adorable.
Oh no, this was the cheese.
Oh no.
I didn't even get that. I'm not lying.
It's
Oh
you didn't
no.
no, that's still SpongeBob. You can tell. You can tell.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the cheese. Okay,
Yep.
I see what you mean now.
get this. Cheese! Cheese!
That's what I got. That's exactly what I got.
Oh no.
Cheese!
That was still a yellow square.
And it changed completely from the yellow square.
Ah, yes, everybody's favorite childhood
Oh no.
character, Craft Single.
LaRousse, that was such a good drawing though.
Fuck.
Oh man. I'm so sorry
hilarious.
Potion ruined it.
Yep.
Yeah.
What? I
You'll
didn't
see
make
here.
the cheese. Lacey did. Wait, no.
Hold on. Hold on.
Lacey.
Hold on. Okay. Okay. Hold
You
on.
made the cheese.
Excuse
No, wait,
me.
Hop made the cheese.
Potion garlic to your name.
Who's Lacey?
Sir. Sir.
I can't. Fuck, dude.
Sir.
Lacey did.
Okay, Riley.
No.
Riley
Riley
Hernandez.
Hernandez.
You know, whoever's name is actually that, they're gonna be fucked when they find out.
Garlic potion
you?
sus.
Sir.
Oh god.
You haven't explained yet.
See you over there,
This
LaRousse.
fucker called me Lacey.
Listen, Lacey.
Hold on. I need to wait, who
Listen,
called you
Riley.
Lacey?
Oh shit.
Who
Yeah.
called you
Potion
Lacey?
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Potion called
my.
me Lacey.
I just need to bring us back to this moment where Yoshi was like fine for like the first two, and then just Potion got a hold of it and just like, what the fuck is that? Hi, Jason. How are you?
Fine.
He's yelling so hard his mic
You
is
think you should be the
breaking.
top artist? Hell yeah, Hop. Hop, can you teach us all how to draw, please? Please? Oh my god, these are all so good. This one, okay, this one just... okay, top prize goes to this one, though, because, I mean, look
And
at this.
as you
Hop,
can
can you
see-
please tutor us?
Potion derailed it again, like always.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Like, look at this. What's he doing just like a square with an X? Like, come on. Come
That's
on
a
now.
little
What? Did you
sus,
do it
if
on
you
me
ask
now?
me.
No. I followed that one. I followed that one right. Look at that. Look,
What?
look above.
You
Look
didn't
above.
even
Look
do
above.
what they
Look above.
did. No, look at the X. Look at the X.
So,
Yours is
yeah,
all like
look at the
swoopy.
X.
Theirs is
Why? 'Cause I
straight.
draw my X's like this? How
Yeah.
dare you?
Yours
I've
is
always
like
done my
a
X's like
planet
this.
of
fancy X.
Aqualia.
Ours is
I,
basic, and
Queen
that's
That's how my
the
X's
Elizabeth,
always
I
look.
invite you to be a magnificent
Riley,
member
I'm
of
gonna
the
need you
Potion
to
get
of
down a
Sus
little bit.
Society.
Oh god.
Well, Lacey's name isn't Lacey either, but we're apparently calling.
Oh god. Yeah, hell did go down and you did miss it, Jason. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Oh man, thank you for the follow, Jason. Oh god. Shark doo 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 doo, baby shark doo doo doo. Wait, is this one? Shark doo 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 doo, baby shark. Yay! Thank you for the follow.
Right, who's Lacey?
Oh gosh,
Huh?
thank you so much.
Yeah, who's Lacey?
Wait, do I not even
Who's
have my
Molly?
alerts on here?
Get out of it, you fucking cunt.
Who even mentioned a
Get out of it,
Molly?
you fucking
Why is
What?
she out?
Breach
Wait,
did.
is that what he said? Yeah, he
Molly.
mentioned it. I won't say it until he
Guys?
says.
I may or may not have forgot to put my alerts on this scene. Oops.
Nice.
Well, now I know for next time. Awesome, young. Okay, we have a counter powdery paintings. You ruined not. You made them better. You made them better.
Potion ruined them.
I can't have
Yeah,
the
exactly.
words. This is why we can't have
shit,
nice
ruined
things.
Alright, that is my last one for the night. I do need to get going because I work in the morning. But thank you all for drawing with us. We need to do this again
Quote-unquote
soon.
Going.
What?
I said quote unquote going.
What do you mean going?
We all
Huh?
to say we all know you're gonna be in the Discord until like
I
4
mean,
in
yeah.
the morning.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going to play some Valorant, but like I need time after stream to do that, so therefore ending. But yeah, thank you guys so much for playing and for being here. I'm gonna like deafen real quick and I'll be back.
Alright.
Bye, Discord peoples.
Bye.
Okay, so yo, that was so much fun. We have to do that again. Like we have to. That was a lot of fun. Let's see, who should we raid? Who should we raid? Oh my gosh, wait. They're on right now? Oh my gosh, no way. No way. I found our raid target. Don't forget the 40 bomb. Alright, Terry bet. I got you, don't worry. Have a good night, you too, Uni. You too. And if you guys want to play again next time, definitely keep a lookout on the Discord for when we're doing it again. Punchy turned Detective Conan into Harry Potter. He did look a little like Harry Potter. I thought that myself too. You know, I'm glad you had a good time. LaRusse, yes! Heck yeah. Maybe we'll run into you in Valorant. Anyways, guys, we're gonna go raid my friend Beth. Beth is chaotic as heck, but like in the best of ways. And I hope that you all can show her lots and lots of love. Here's the raid message if you would like to copy and paste that. If you don't have a sub though, feel free to use either your emotes or somebody's emotes that you just like. Let's just show her all of the love that we possibly can, alright? And today's her birthday too! Wait, today's her birthday! Wait, hold on. We need to change that. Happy birthday. We need to change that into a happy birthday message. Hold on. Don't copy that one yet. I'm doing a happy birthday message right now. There. Copy that one. Alright. So, I will see you guys. Oh my gosh, Leslie. Okay. Copy mine or Leslie's, whichever one you want to do. That's her community name, by the way. Not TOS. You got your own personal raid message? Alright. Do whatever the heck you want to do. Just show her love. Thank you guys so much for being here, playing with us, watching, chatting, subbing, following, rating, all the stuff. You guys are amazing. I will catch you guys again. Definitely on Tuesday for some more Leisure Suit Larry with Leslie and Alex. And yes, see you next week. Bye, guys. Have a good night.